All right. Welcome to the NorCal Sports Network as we go live in game instead of post game. We'll cover it all for you tonight. But we've got Ned Colletti here for about 45 minutes tonight. So we wanted to bring him on and just get him on here while the game's going on. And we'll be updating you with anything that happens. Right now, it's I believe they're through 6, or is it in the 7th right now? What
In the seventh.
7th? Giants are up 3-0. So we'll see if the Giants can hold on, or as I'm betting, that the Dodgers will come back and win this game.
Actually, now it's top of the eighth. It's top of the eighth.
Oh man!
Boy, Dan, you've really changed your tune in the last couple months.
Well, I'm doing okay. I'm just, every time I bet against the Giants this year, whatever I bet, on the Giants or against them, they do the opposite. So I thought when they got up 2-0, I got better odds. Then it was 3-0. I got even a little better odds. I thought, well, Dodgers are used to coming back, and nothing yet tonight. So
it's not over yet. You may get your wish.
Yeah, I probably got plus 400 right now. I bet if I take a look. So anyway, welcome, Ned. How are things going?
Things are good. I'm actually down in San Jose.
Oh, you're doing some stuff with the Sharks?
I work for San Jose Sharks. I've been there 5+ years, I think now, and got training camp that just opened a couple days ago. Had a big tournament in Las Vegas last weekend, and went back to LA for a couple days to teach at Pepperdine, and then flew back up here. We've been in meetings Thursday, Friday, and more to go. An exhibition game on Sunday.
Excellent. Yeah, we got hockey starting, and basketball starts, NBA in a week or two? It's usually right around the same time camps open up together, but hockey's about a week or so ahead, I think, usually.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, great. What's expected of the Sharks this year?
Well, we're still somewhat in a rebuild. We've got some really good young players. Some you'll see this year. Some you'll see probably next year. Our number one pick, Will Smith, is going to play college hockey his first year out. So, we're in that process. I had a great 20-year run, and then a little bit declined the last couple of years, but a lot of good people putting it back together. So it take a little bit of time. Patience, toughest thing to have in pro sports, but you got to be patient right now because it'll pay a dividend later.
Yeah, I love the fact that when I hear the word rebuild, that is something I've been pushing for the Giants to do for the last year or two. 21 was a great season, but they're getting old. And what's your philosophy, Ned, when you look at a team that goes out and signs some aging veterans with some injury history, nothing really, more mid-level veterans than upper tier. And then they kind of have blocked a lot of the younger guys from the Giants this year. We were on record on NorCal Sports here at the trade deadline that we thought the Giants, even though they were in the one position at the time of the wild card, they were the first wild card, we felt like you could get best value in a seller's market and just rebuild the thing and go younger, because we didn't see them as a real playoff team. And now here we are with 8 games left. They have less than a 5% chance, I think it is, 3-4% chance of making the playoffs. And they kind of wasted, in my opinion, 60-plus games. They could have been playing a lot of young guys. So what's your feeling on rebuild versus kind of trying to go for it without doing a full rebuild, but not really going for it with star players?
Well, sometimes you have to sit in the middle. And nobody likes to sit in the middle, but sometimes the middle is a place to be. First off, you've got to, if you're going to go young like that, you've really got to have minor league players capable of playing in the big leagues and capable of playing not just 2 or 3 weeks, but to your point, Dan, or to your thoughts, going back to the deadline, which is 8 weeks ago in the season. That's a long time if a player is not ready to play yet. And so you've got to be wise with that. I think short-term signs of veteran is the way to go if you sit in the middle, because you're not committing to a long-term deal to somebody that when the kids do show up, and if the kids can play and compete at the big league level, which is an everyday thing. It's not once a week. It's pretty much an everyday thing. Well, then you're okay. I don't think if you're signing players to 1-year deals or even maybe a 2-year deal, that you're really doing that much blocking.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
One more thing. Well, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
People are always excited to see young players come up, and it sounds like a great idea until somebody comes up and hits 150 or hits 200.
Yeah.
Or can't get out of an inning. Now, what are you going to do if you don't have veterans? You're going to make that kid sit out there and continue to struggle, continue to go downhill? Is that fair to the player? Is that fair to the process? I don't believe it is. So while the call is always, well, let's go younger, let's have a rebuild, let's do that. Well, you've got to have the players, and they've got to be ready to do it. And
True.
It's hard to do.
How do you judge that, though? Like the Astros did it years ago with Altuve and Springer and all their young guys, Correa, and they just – but, I mean, these guys, they were drafted at the top of the draft, though.
Yeah, they were drafted right at the top in some cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the Orioles Orioles did it.
Yeah.
So,
Teams can do it. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen if you do it that way. It takes a lot of different things. Baltimore has had a great run this year. Tremendous. They also lost about 330-some games over a 3-year period. You want to go through that so you can pick at the top of a draft. And just because you pick at the top of a draft doesn't mean everybody's going to stay healthy. You've got to have great player development people. Baltimore obviously has got a real good crew. They've done a great job. But at the same time, Baltimore's success, and it's been terrific, Yankees are down. Red Sox are down.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay has lost a couple of players, one to whatever issue and the other one, a couple other ones to injury. So if those 3 teams, if Tampa's full strength or close to it, and if the Yankees and the Red Sox are typically the Yankees and the Red Sox, Baltimore probably doesn't have that record. My point being, just because you rebuild and just because you lose 110 games a year and you pick at the top of the draft doesn't mean everybody else in the division is going to go terrible. It doesn't go like that. It's not a teeter-totter. It's not a seesaw. Sometimes teams continue to get better and continue to do it. I actually thought, and I probably said it on either your show or Larry Krueger's show, that I thought this year going in, this was a year for the National League West to perhaps challenge the Dodgers. You got Trevor Bauer out for the year. You got Walker Buehler out for the year. Arguably, before the Trevor Bauer stuff hit, probably their 2 top starting pitchers. Clayton still there, but Clayton's had some injury issue this year. You've got that. You've got J.D. Martinez on a short-term deal.
And you lost Dustin May, too.
This was a year, and this was a year of transition for them. Now that they're close to winning 100 games again, it's not going to get easier for the National League West next year. It's going to get tougher, and they may sign them. I guess they probably would sign this big left-handed hitter who's played for the Anaheim Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that would be
the year, but nobody could do it, including San Diego, who and I'm not sure what the record is today, but are they even going to finish 500?
They're moving. They've won. What are they? 7 in a row or 8?
7 in a row so
7
far.
in a row, and they're tied 2-2 in the. They need to pull off what St. Louis did a couple years ago. And
how many games out are they?
They are
4.5, I think.
Yeah,
if they win tonight, they'll be 3.5.
They're like 6 teams behind.
Yeah.
So it's 4.5 plus whatever they're trailing
Right.
the team ahead of them, plus whatever they're trading the team ahead of that team. They're close to mathematically eliminated.
Oh yeah, they've been
500. I ask you that they're not.
Right. Yeah, it's been a really down year in the National
How do you
League.
expect the team to get to the playoffs and that's under 500?
Yeah.
I guess it happened once in a while. Maybe the Mets back in 72 or 73, but I mean it's there's certain landmarks teams have to establish before they can consider themselves legit contenders for anything except a deep wild card. And that's a 500 record. That's
Yeah.
a 500 record against teams in your division. San Diego hasn't done that. Giants are going to have their hands full trying to do that.
Right. Ned, I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on this present format of the playoffs with 3 wild cards. And before you answer that, in '97, when you and Sabes took over the Giants, from '97 to '04, under this present format, you guys would have made the playoffs 8 straight seasons. But you got knocked out in a playoff game in '98, in game 163 against the Cubs.
Yep.
In '99, you were close. 2000, you won it. '01, you missed by a couple of games. Barry's huge year. '02, you went to the World Series. '03, you won the division. '04, even though it was kind of the beginning of a slight downturn, you guys still had a good season, good enough season to make the playoffs in this format. What do you feel about that today? Do you feel it waters the game down, or is it more exciting for the franchises, the front offices? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I wish I would have known this before. I may have added it to my resume. Probably the first that's pretty good.
Yeah, I went back and looked, and I said, okay, who would have been the second and third wild cards in all those seasons? And the Giants were every year. 1 year, '04, you would have been the third wild card, but you would have snuck in.
I think it's good for baseball because it keeps people interested. If 2 of those teams were out of it, and I think it's, except for a couple of wild card teams right now, it's blanketed by mediocrity. Even those teams that get in, I mean, can they get hot for a week? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're mediocre. The Dodgers just went to Seattle, American League West, right? Challenging for a wild card, supposedly a good team. Dodgers got really hardly anything to play for. They're just trying to stay healthy. Sweep them in Seattle. And Seattle really, I mean, played them close, but playing them close doesn't really matter. Still got to win games. So, it's good for the markets. It gets people excited. It gives them a chance to see a playoff game or two. But, that's about it. It's in this particular year. This isn't a year like the Giants had in '93, where they won 103 games, I think, and didn't make it.
Yeah.
That's a different type of team. The teams that are trying to get to 500, or they're a couple games over 500, and they're going to celebrate getting into the postseason. Well, okay. Let's see if they're still playing a week later. I mean, it's possible. Arizona's got 2 stud pitchers. Philly's got the same. So teams like that, can maybe do something. Obviously, Tampa's got something. But, it's
we got a comment up here.
It's a little bit mediocre of talent right now.
We got a little comment up here from Mark Graves. Says, update your resume and send it to the Giants, man, please.
Well, you know what? The Giants have been great to me. I was up there a few weeks ago for Mike Murphy, a great clubhouse man and a great Giant, for his induction into the organization's Hall of Fame. May have been my best baseball weekend I've had in a long, long time. Seen a lot of players from the year I worked there, and players who've come in since, and players who were there before. Ownership did a wonderful, wonderful job. So, I don't know if I need to update my resume. I mean, they know my phone number. There's
Nice.
number that I had something to do. So, with their success back in a period of time. So,
did that visit give you the itch
it's to what?
to want to come back?
I love San Francisco. It's
Awesome.
I had a great run in LA. I was there 17 years with the organization and ran it for 9. 5 playoffs through all kinds of turmoil. Another one we had almost 6 out of 9 with tremendous turmoil. And but what San Francisco is, and maybe it's all because of the city and the people. My friendships with the San Francisco Giants people and ownership. There's no other part of my career that's had that. And that's no knock on Chicago, my hometown that I worked at for 13 years, or no knock on a prestigious, iconic franchise like the Dodgers. But, I'm still in touch. I'm still in touch with all sorts of people in the Giants organization. And they honored me by asking me to come back for Murph's big day. I was taken aback that I was invited, but I got to tell you, it was the best. Brought
That's
back a lot of great memories.
And I just finished your book. Absolutely loved your book. I recommend it to everyone. The Big Chair. It's a great read. And I love how you sit there. You said it's about, and that's what the book was about. It was about the people.
Yeah.
That if you know, from the time from you're a little boy all the way up to when you know you're the GM at with the LA Dodgers. It's about the people and the relationships that you had with those people.
No
and
doubt.
I absolutely about how you just navigated. And you talk about that turmoil that you had in LA. You read it in a book, and you're just like, how do you even succeed in a situation like that? And you're able to, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I would like to thank you for, putting pen to paper your experiences, because it gives, what it's like to be a GM and a GM in some tough times.
Well, I appreciate the book review, Eric. It's coming up on the 6th-year anniversary of publication. It'll be October 3rd of coming up in a couple of weeks. All the turmoil taught me a lot of key lessons and a lot of life lessons, including there's so many things that go on in life and in the world that we have to struggle with. But we're only really able to change a very few. And we have to figure out what it is we have control over. It's a very tiny list for all of us. And that's where I spent my time. I learned to spend my time thinking about things I could fix. I told our great manager, Hall of Famer Joe Torre, who was right in the middle of it, and after that, Donnie Mattingly, hey, we can't fix any of this. All we can do is do the best job we can do with the job that's in front of us. All the players, the same thing. You're going to get asked every day about the turmoil. What does it do to the club? What does it do with the payroll? I don't know what do you have? Do you have any control over that? How much time are we going to spend on something we got zero to do with? Our job is to make the team better. Our job is to be entertaining, play hard, play the game the right way, and do everything you can to get to that point. That's what we do. So when you got to that point, it was actually simple. We weren't trying to change the world. You're just trying to do what you could do and make sure that you did it to the best of your ability.
And I love how you talked about culture as well. That's a really big deal to get that culture established within an organization so you can to achieve great things. And you talk about it in your book. And I absolutely talk about the culture with the San Francisco Giants, especially when you were there. And I'm pretty sure. Best. Yeah.
We always sat behind the Dodgers in payroll through those years.
You're right.
They were signing Kevin Brown. Suddenly their payroll was going up in the high 90s, 100 million perhaps. We were at 50, we were at 60. We had to build the ballpark to stay in the city, basically. And ownership reached out and really did a wonderful. I mean, that's still such a beautiful. I keep calling it the new ballpark. I mean, it's 20-something years old, but it's still beautiful, and it'll be beautiful forever. But we had so many things that we had to do. But as I look back on it, Sabes and I, he's from New Hampshire, I'm from Chicago, but we grew up kind of the same way. We didn't grow up with affluence. We grew up with, hey, you know what? We got to be smart with what we do. Neither one of us are intellectuals, so to speak, but we had to be smart with what we did. And the first team that we both had, that he went from 2-1, I went from 3-2, was the 97 team. And if you look at the players acquired, but in the winter of 96, 97, they all had a chip on their shoulder. They all had something to prove. They all played hard. And that was really kind of the conscience of Brian and me. That's how we approached our jobs. That's how we approached our lives. And so we were drawn to people like Jeff Kent, Jose Vizcaino.
Wow.
Bless him, Darrell Hamilton, JT Snow. All these guys had something to prove. They were angry at being pushed aside or not being able to reap the stardom that they had worked for. And so we put them all together, and boom, we go from 90-some losses in 96 to winning the West in 97.
Unbelievable year.
Pretty
unbelievable.
And I think it's, I had 40 years in the game, and people always ask, so what was the best year? And okay, I don't know, but there a lot of good years, a lot of great years, but few will surpass 97 because of where we came from. and our first shot at doing it.
Yeah,
And
that had to be.
But we were particular on who we brought in. And we had to trade one of the icons, Matt Williams. We had to make that decision. Tough decision to do. Kept Barry, traded Matt. Couldn't keep them both.
Wow.
And,
Made the right decision for sure.
A bunch of players.
Yeah. Ned, I have a quick question. You were talking about process a little earlier. When you're evaluating a young hitter coming up, how many at bats do you need to see from that batter to really make a decision on him?
Well, it depends, Bart. It depends on who it is. You've got to see probably a minimum of 1,000 at bats. It ain't easy hitting in the big leagues. They just talked to Deion Sanders the other day. Somebody who played for us for a little while, and they asked him, of all the sports you played, what was the hardest thing you ever did? He says, trying to hit a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great athletes of our time.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do, and you've got to understand the strike zone. And I think the toughest thing for a good player to do, for a good prospect to do, is cross that bridge to the big leagues and not do it every once in a while. You got to do it pretty much every day. And the mental grind of doing something like that every day isn't made for everybody. And for most people, it's not who they are at the outset. It's who they become. So that's going to take a little bit of time too. So you try and prepare them. I always wanted to see hitters that understood the strike zone and that weren't going to, give the pitcher an extra strike here or there, but also hitters that struggled in the minor leagues. Because when you struggle in the big leagues and you got 50,000 people or 40,000 people staring at you and a few million more watching on television, that's a tough place to have to figure it out in real time.
Yeah.
So it was important to me that guys struggled. I remember one of my early years in LA, I had traded for Andre Ethier from Oakland, and we had called up Andre and Russell Martin, our great catcher, within a couple of days of each other. In May of 2006, I think it was my first year as a GM. And they went off and they did great. Then a couple of years later, they struggled for like the first time. And it was, I'm just speaking for myself, not for them. It was a struggle because they had never been through it before. So, Bart, I'm trying to answer your question in a very long, roundabout way. I want to see guys struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see guys have to figure it out. It's a tough thing to do. And if you're going to rush somebody because they've got good stats at A-ball, AA, AAA, they're playing 50, 60 games at each spot and they're running through the organization. Okay, maybe they can do it. But there's a better chance they can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about a week or two. I'm talking about 6 months. That's the regular season.
Yep.
It's the toughest thing to do.
One of the things, by the way, Giants, Dodgers, bottom of the eighth, 3-1. Dodgers have bases loaded. Freddie Freeman just singled in a run.
Keep buying dinner, Dan. That keeps going.
Yeah. Hey, I'll buy everybody dinner. Believe me, I just got him at.
Just send me a check. I can't make it.
I just took him at plus 820 before the inning. So this could be a good night. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the Giants, man, if they lose this one, they found a new way because with 2 outs, Jason Hayward swung and missed at a pitch right down the middle for strike 3, and it went off Bailey's glove, and he was able to go to first base. Somehow Bailey whiffed. He fanned. To use a hockey term, he fanned. He just unbelievable.
It happens.
I haven't seen that happen on a, but Rogers' pitches are kind of freaky though. They move that slider and that upward movement. It's so.
Duvall's coming in too.
Yeah, Duvall's in now, so we'll see what happens.
Uh-oh.
But what was my question? Yes, Elliot Ramos is a former number 1 draft pick, Ned, of the Giants in 2017. He's only 23 years old. He struggled at times down in the minors. This year, he has really put it together, and he's hitting over 300. He's hitting with some power. He's got a high OPS. He's exit velocity Some of his balls have been 110 plus, but for some reason, the Giants have only given him in the last 2+ years a total of 68 big league at bats. They bring him up, he does okay, they platoon, and then they send him down. I talked to him in spring training, and his goal was 2020 this year, whether that was at Sacramento in AAA or at the big club. He's got a lot of tools, but he hasn't really been given the opportunity. Why does that happen? I mean, maybe they think he can't do it and they don't believe in him. I don't know, but it's like he's doing what they've asked him to do, which is start hitting the ball with some launch. And he's just not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be something that's, you got to be sitting there in the organization to know the reason why. I'm familiar with the player. He's been with the organization for a while and highly touted, and struggled. Was pretty good, I think, early. Struggled a little bit a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and then put it together. But yeah, why? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't answer.
At what point would you cut bait and just be like, you know what, he's not going to work out for our club. We'll give him another opportunity on some other club. He's not getting the playing time here. He might get it somewhere else.
Well, more though, I think in the list in boldface, that's the biggest responsibilities of a general manager or the president of baseball operations, kind of the same job in a lot of ways, is to really know your players. It's not like there's 26 players on 30 teams. Do the math. Would you say, would the other three people on the call say that there's not 35 players that are all big league players for 30 teams? That some of that 26 are marginal players, are players that if you had somebody better, they wouldn't even be in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are sprinkled with players like that. Some teams are dominated by players like that. Other teams have maybe one or maybe two or maybe none. But my point is that to find a big league player is hard. And so if you're gonna cut bait on somebody, or whatever your terminology was, if you're gonna do that, you better be sure it's never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't give away talent.
When you look at the talent,
and I think it's every organization's job. I have no idea what the underneath the surface story is, but it's every organization's responsibility, in my opinion, to create an environment and to understand how everybody thinks, every player, their securities, their confidences, their insecurities, their weaknesses, what they're afraid of, what they struggle with, and figure out a way organizationally to get past that. And some people never get past it. I get it. But you got to be sure they're never going to get past it. And, it's almost an evolution of today's society. People are on a phone. They don't really talk to anybody. They text people, they email people. They don't really. So you don't take the time to really understand everybody. But I think in sports, particularly in any industry, that there's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation. They've got to, you've got to give people that type of environment. How many teams do? I don't know, but I know that I always tried. And in San Jose, we try the same thing. We don't have players that we can just, send out that are going to be NHL players someday. We're not built like that. No team's built like that. But
so Ned, did you, when you look for players, were you with the Dodgers with Yordan Alvarez, right? When you guys signed?
No.
You were not. Okay.
I was gone when he was signed. I was gone when he was traded.
Okay. How do teams find these guys like Ellie De Cruz, Julio Rodriguez? You're seeing more of these, Ronald Acuna. I mean, there's more and more stars. The game seems to be going back to I like to say it's roots with true athleticism. The launch angle seems to be fading a little bit as teams are stealing bases more or trying to find those type of players. What's the best way to? I mean, like you said, it's hard to find a good player. How do you? At what age do you tap in on a guy? At 15, 14? What?
Depends. If a player is 16 years old in Latin America on July the 2nd, they can be signed. You got to have good scouts. You got to have people who can predict the future, who've been around enough to understand how this player profiles as an athlete, what his parents are like, what his habits are like, how does he think, how does he do life, what's it going to be like for a kid that has maybe struggled to get 3 meals a day to suddenly get $100 million or $50,000 or $10,000. Yeah, you got to think of the entire picture. But
who's the best player that you wanted and was able to get that you personally saw that you like, we got to get this guy? And who's the guy you missed out on that you wanted?
After 40 years, you're going to ask me to go look for 2 years. I mean, Clayton Kershaw is a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Corey Seager, pretty good pick.
But I mean, did you zero in on those guys? Like, these are guys
those are our top choices as number 1 picks.
Wow.
Our scouts did a great job, tremendous job. And there's more than that. Bellinger.
I mean, I'm sure you've missed out on guys too, right? I mean, that you
Sure.
bypassed
The players that didn't become what you thought they would. And that's part of it too. I don't want to embarrass them or get on them. But yeah, there's a group.
Yeah. I mean, it happens in every draft. I mean,
we didn't hit on every player we ever picked, but
right.
we hit on some good ones. And the scouts did a tremendous job with it.
In 2019, the Giants selected what looked like to be a really good player.
Oh man,
out of Arizona State, had all the tools, everybody thought. And Hunter Bishop, he's struggled with a lot of injuries, has not made it past A-ball. In that same draft, about 5, 6, 7, 8 picks later, was Corbin Carroll.
Is he a good player, Dan?
Corbin Carroll?
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to swallow when you see those.
So when was Carroll drafted?
Somewhere, I'm guessing 16 to 19. I can't remember exactly.
All right, let's say 16. So you're on the Giants for not picking them, and 14 other teams didn't pick them either.
Right. Oh, I'm not so much on the Giants. At the time, I thought Hunter Bishop was a good pick. It just didn't work out. But you can't have – I mean, it could have went the other way too. Carroll could have been hurt for 4 years in the minors, and Bishop could have turned out to be a star,
True.
you know. So
how's your game going, by the way?
It's 3-1 in the top of the 9th, but
they got out of it.
They got out of it.
We are going to have to send Danny some money.
Yeah, I know. Send me some money, please, man. I bet 3 times. The odds kept getting better, and I kept biting on it.
Dan, guys,
I chased it. I kept chasing it. You know, but hey,
Danny.
I'm happy. Marco Luciano just got his second hit. He just hit a line drive up the middle.
111 apparently.
This kid is 111. This kid's talented. This is the type of kid.
What's he hitting? Somebody look up what he's hitting
right now for the year. I got it. Let's see. For the he's only got like 15 at bats in the maybe.
Yeah, it's a small sample.
Small sample, but he is hitting. Marco is
333.
What's Bailey hitting?
Bailey's hitting like 250 maybe.
241.
No, he's down to 241. Exactly where I told you to be.
The third baseman.
JD Davis. Oh, Schmidt. They sent him back down. He's.
You know what? I bet you if you went back on some tapes, you'd find people on this show or Larry's show just raving about how great these guys were. And I'm not saying they're not going to be great, but it just doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
I'm one that
You know
said
how
when
tired these
Bailey.
guys going to be when you get to the end of the season?
I mean, that's a great example for Schmidt too. When he came up, he was hitting like 400 for about a month. Then he completely cooled off. They sent him to the minors. And then they brought him back up, and he was starting to put it together. You could see it with the at bats. And then he didn't play for a couple days, and they just sent him down. So I mean, that was sort of a confusing move.
I'll say this on Patrick Bailey: he was hitting over 300, and people were rookie of the year. I said, great catcher, but he's going to end up. He's going to end up between 240 and 250. Mark my words.
Fitzgerald just hit a 2-run bomb.
Really? My thing just went off. Let me go back and look at it. Wow. Hey, good for him. There's another rookie. You know, you want to see these rookies come up and show some potential. You know, the Giants have some talented guys. This is where I just feel like they missed the mark. I just would have loved to see him just play them. And it looks like they're doing it now, but that's great. A second big league game.
They're hitting 150. That's still okay?
Yeah, if they're struggling.
You think that's okay?
Matt Williams struggled.
You think that's okay? You're going to have 3 or 4 kids hitting 150.
I don't know about 3 or 4 of them, but 1 or 2 is okay. Because I think you learn from your mistakes too. You got to work yourself out of it.
So you're going to make another bet tomorrow?
Like I say,
mistake.
I probably should bet on the Giants to win this game right now. Then they'll probably blow it because I have lost about 12 consecutive games, and it's all been whatever. If I bet the Giants,
you haven't really learned your lesson.
Well, I bet them to win, they lose. I bet them to lose, they win.
So you just said though, people learn from their mistakes. Whoa! Okay. Does that play back the tape? Isn't that a direct quote?
Yeah, that is
learn from their mistakes. Yeah. 2 minutes.
Danny, there's
12 in a row.
There's one thing Ned talked about in his book a lot, and it's about listening, and he listens.
That's a good one. But I thought it was a pretty good odds. The Dodgers usually do come back. They do come back. So,
but they still got a half inning. You might be okay. Yeah. You might break that streak since you've learned something.
Yeah.
Well, and the Padres won, by the way.
Padres won. Okay.
So, oh wow.
Are they at 500 now, or are they only
200? They're still got 2 more to go.
They got ways to go. Yeah.
They really went into
their schedule's a cakewalk though. It's a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
They've only got 6 left.
They have
7. They have 8 left.
I mean, tell that to the Arizona Diamondbacks who got clobbered by the Yankees today.
I said it before. There's a lot of mediocrity.
Hey, and
Philly's pretty good.
Yep.
Wild card. Tampa's pretty good. Wild card. Brewers.
Yeah, there's not many good. I mean, it's going to come down to, it's going to be interesting because the way this balanced schedule works out, you look at the American League West, the Rangers just moved into first place. Houston lost again to Kansas City. They have struggled against Kansas City, the A's, and the White Sox recently. Seattle lost to Texas, so that pushes the Rangers up. Rangers move into the first half game ahead of Houston. But here's where it gets interesting. Teams are fighting for playoff spots. Houston's in a dogfight to make the playoffs, and they've got 3 to end the season in Arizona. And Arizona may be fighting for a playoff spot.
That should be a great series.
Yes, that's going to be really interesting because one of those teams may go home pretty unhappy.
So that's next weekend, right?
Not next weekend here in Arizona.
I'll have to go see those games.
You're going to be down?
I don't know where I'll be, but maybe I'll go.
You haven't learned where you're going to be?
Don't try and kick me when you're 0 for 12 streak, and our guys are going to learn. Yeah, they're going to pick up the fastball better and the curveball better a couple weeks after striking out a few times.
Well, you got to learn it somewhere, right? I mean, eventually, didn't Matt Williams have to learn it?
Sure,
I mean,
you tell your family you're learning how to gamble. That's a good
I'm not. Hey, these are small bets. I'm not a big time gambler. These are $10 little mini bets.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not a big. This actually like my first bet all week. So I don't bet much.
Well, your week starts on Friday, huh?
Yeah, well, I just thought, well, make it a little more interesting.
All right, we got anything else to talk about besides your gambling habit?
I have another question, Ned.
Yeah, and I know you got to go, so let's make it
Go ahead,
another
Bob, what do you
question.
got?
When you're scouting a player, how important is it to sort of find a player that has all the attributes, like 6'5", he's super athletic, his projection is like a super athlete, rather than sort of just staying with the average build, but like super smart and has the tools right now. Do you rely on your developmental staff and system to sort of like boost that player with all the physical tools to the next level, or would you go the safe route and just sort of take the quote unquote like major league ready player?
Well, I don't know that I've ever taken a safe route. I'm not sure that's the safe route anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the player you think has got a chance to play in the big leagues for your organization. And every organization is a little bit different. Takes a little bit different to be a Dodger than it does to be a Royal. Okay? So, you got to look at a bunch of different things, boy. It's not that simple. If you find somebody 6'5" with a great baseball mind and all the tools, yeah, sure, you'd love to have that player. He's going to have a long swing, going to be vulnerable inside, though, most likely, at that size. So, whatever. I'm not sure that Jose Altuve will ever be 6'5". I think he's probably one of the shorter guys in the game.
Was Seager 6'4" when you drafted him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you drafted him out of high school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes
and I like real quick before we go, in your book you talk about how you brought on a doctor, a psychiatrist. I can't remember. First name is Dana. I can't remember.
Dana Sinclair.
Yes, and then that's interesting because you're getting the bigger picture of the player, not just the talent of what they can provide, but what is going on in their mind, because a lot of baseball is between the ears. So I thought that was fascinating.
Dana Sinclair was recommended to me from some of my hockey buddies, one in particular, Brian Burke, who ran the Ducks and won a championship there before moving on to Toronto and Calgary and Pittsburgh. And I met with Dana, and tremendous at what she does. And when I first introduced her to the club, everybody kind of rolled their eyes like, what's this all about? And then about 2 weeks later, and it's all private, but because she's a doctor, all private between the patient and the doctor. I says, anybody ever talk to you? And she says, yeah, like 30 guys. So, it proved to be a great asset. There was probably a couple trades I made that she played a major role in because of fear, players' fear of failure, and not being able to meet the objectives, and being afraid that they weren't going to be able to meet the objectives. I traded one player that was high on everybody's list. And between Dana and some of my great scouts, they said, this person's not going to make it.
Wow, that's great insight.
Person made 100 at bats in the big leagues and maybe 125 and never made it.
Wow.
Unless you count making, 125 bats making it, but I looked for a little bit longer career than a couple of months.
Yeah.
But
That's
you use
really
every
great.
piece of information. I
Absolutely.
use analytics. Analytics is what really kind of got my career going way back when. It was prehistoric compared to today's analytics. But I had great value for defensive alignment, for how hitters hit in certain situations, for left-right matchups, for match up certain pitches for some certain hitters, late in the game, late in a close game. I kept it all. I kept it all by hand, basically. I have great respect for it.
You should come out with a book. We'll let you go. I know you got to run, but you should.
Let me just finish the statement here, unless
Right.
you got a big commercial coming up.
Well, I just think you should. I think you're the inventor of Moneyball.
So anyway, if you're a leader of any company, doesn't have to be a baseball team. If you're a leader of any company, aren't you required to seek as much information as you can from a variety of sources, from a variety of viewpoints? Isn't that your responsibility?
Mm.
Are you going to shut down 10%, 20%, 50% of the information that you can gather? I never did that. I used analytics. Sabes and I were known as guys that, were scouts and hated analytics. Only people who said that were people who didn't want us to work or didn't want us involved in the game because they had no idea what we did.
Mm,
But that's,
Wow.
that was the easy way out.
gotcha.
Well, Ned, there's one more right up there on the screen.
Is
there.
too much analytics a bad thing? The same way too little analytics is a bad thing. Too little scouting is a bad thing. Too little amounts of information from a team performance expert like Dana Sinclair. Too much is not good. Too little is not good. Balance is what is good. So
Wow.
thanks for the question there, Talks.
Truck Talks, yeah. I don't know if we had any more questions. I know you got to run.
Well, if you get another question, throw it up. Otherwise, I'll go here.
Yeah, throw a question out. Anybody got a quick question for Ned? Somebody asked a question that was NHL related.
Yeah,
earlier
FPS. He was asking
in the beginning.
who's going to be the
number one draft pick next year
Yes.
in the NHL? It was.
Well, the season hasn't started yet. Why? How could I be talking about that? I'm not Danny going to be betting on.
Oh man!
I mean, there's guys that are considered potentially the number one pick.
Let me see. He threw a name out.
Have them play the season.
There. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. It was.
I agree.
Here it is. Here it is. Right here.
Yes.
Right there. That's what he's asking you.
Celebrini.
Yes. Well, the other one, FPS on Mike Greer is his scouting report is right on. Mike Greer is so impressive and doing. I mean, I think he's doing a great job, not an easy job, and I think that he's done great. I've been very impressed. I've known him a little bit over a year now. Great leader, great communicator, photographic memory, and played the game the right way.
There we go. Senior softball games. Ned, do you think Buster would be successful coming in as the head of baseball operations?
Is Buster smart enough to do it? Absolutely. Is he experienced enough to do it? Absolutely. Does he want to work 12 months a year to do it? I don't know.
Yep. To be determined.
I don't know that answer. I know that he has everything else you would want in a leader, but that's one of the things people forget too. There's every so often there's somebody that managed in the game and wants to come back as a GM or or a player that wants to do that. They're accustomed. I'm not talking about Buster now. I'm just talking about anybody. They're accustomed to working out in the winter, being home with their family for the most part, going to spring training the 1st of February, going through spring training, just getting ready. Not a lot of decisions to be made, just getting ready. And then they play. They play the season for 6 months or 7 months, and then they go home again.
Wow.
I'm embarrassed to say I wasn't off on Christmas, or any other day. So, does somebody want to do that? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, I don't take any days off in my fantasy football season. Do you play fantasy football, Ned?
Gosh.
No, I don't. I don't play fantasy stuff. I've been blessed, Danny, to actually do the real thing.
The real thing. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I was going to follow up with that. Did you have a desire as a, growing up in Chicago as a fan of the Cubs? Did you ever have a desire one day of being a general manager of a ball club?
The way I grew up, Dan, I was hoping to have a family and hoping to have a roof over my head.
Wow.
I didn't dream those types of dreams. I dreamt for survival.
Yeah.
And I love it because in your book, you talk about, the perseverance that you had, the faith, family, and, a little bit of chance. It's amazing that word, having a chance, because I'm a big military historian type of guy. And Karl von Clausewitz, he talks about that. He's a famous military philosopher, and he talks about it in his book. It's not just about tactics, but having that chance, because sometimes a door may close one way, but then open up another, and then there's that opportunity, and it presents yourself, and you take advantage of it.
You're right on, Eric. You're right on. When I started to get a little bit older and through college, all I ever wanted was a chance. And I would take the chance that I'd do well with the chance. I don't mean a chance where the door's just open and people are letting you do what you want to do. No, the chance to show somebody what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And even at this stage of my life, I'm still doing the same thing.
Oh, yes. It's called The Big Chair, guys.
You got it in front of you?
Yep. Yeah, here, let me
I can second that. Yeah, he's right. It's called The Big Chair.
Yep. There we go.
Hey, that looks a little similar to the Dodger logo. Nice.
I had written that it's pretty interesting how life sometimes you get a chance, right? I had the GM gig ended, and I needed something to occupy my time for the first time in my life, my adult life. And so I would write from about 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. with no plan to sell it, no plan to publish it, just to get it out of my head. If you've read the book, so that there's stuff in there about me having dinner with Sinatra.
Yeah, that's great.
I wanted to have that chronicled for those who come after me that share my name.
Mm-hmm.
The Greg Maddux negotiation between the Cubs and then Atlanta that turned his career in a different spot. All those things I thought were interesting.
David Wells, that story is great.
I just wanted to write them down. So I did. And then I ran into a buddy at a restaurant, and he says, stop by. And I stopped by the table, and he had maybe the best literary agent in America, David Vigliano, sitting next to him.
Mm.
And he says, David, if this guy ever decides to write a book, you have to represent him. And he says, you know what? I know your career. I think it'd be a great book. Have you ever thought about writing one? And I said, well, I'm 425 pages in right now. He goes, well, who's representing you? I said, nobody. I'm not selling it. I wasn't. And then he said, well, I think you're making a mistake. A couple of weeks went by. I sent him 5 chapters, the first chapter, the last chapter, the Maddux chapter, I think, the Sinatra chapter, one other one in there. And a couple of days went by, and he says, send me the rest. I sent him the rest. He called me up. He says, you have a bestseller. He says, I don't do this unless I can, he's candid. He's an agent. He says, I don't do this unless I can make money on it. But some people would be aghast by that statement, but that's what you want to hear.
Right.
And he says, so, I'll represent you, and I think we'll have a chance to do something big. So a year and a half later, it came out. It was on the bestseller list for like 22 weeks, and baseball books, sports leadership, baseball, and sports autobiography, top 10 for 22 weeks in all of those.
We got one more here, and then I want to close with you when you're heading out. I want to play something by Vin Scully that I think you'll love. Trock Talks donates $2 and says, thanks, Ned. I'm open for hire when you're with the Giants. Thinking about chance.
$2, pal. You better add a handful of zeros to that, and we'll talk about it. Only kidding.
That's great. That's great. Now listen to this. I know you got to go, Ned, but I wanted you to hear this. I saw this today. Someone shared it with me, and this is fantastic baseball history stuff with Vin Scully. Listen to this here.
Johnson, he'll be 45.
Let me start it over here.
Makes the catch for the out. So a fly ball to right, 1 down. Well, supposedly we were going to have 2 veterans. A 44-year-old Randy Johnson, he'll be 45 next week with all of his victories, 294. 42-year-old Greg Maddux with 354 victories. But under the headline and heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, we have a 24-year-old Scherzer with no wins
Wow.
and a 20-year-old Kershaw with 3. What a difference a day makes.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that
Wow.
something? Isn't that
Wow.
something?
I made the decision to do it on our end.
Wow. That's awesome.
My 2 favorite pitchers, those 2 guys.
Mark Hope, you missed a great show with Ned, but you can go back and watch it, Mark.
Mark, where you been, Mark? I haven't seen your name for a while.
Yeah, stay on, Ned. He'll just keep putting money in the coffer here. Mark's great. He's one of our.
Yeah, he's dedicated for sure.
He's dedicated. Excellent. Yeah. So
thanks for joining, Mark, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you back on during the playoffs or something. See what's happening.
We'll see.
You'll be surprised to know that I told a buddy of mine who's a huge Dodger fan, and I said, I think the Braves. We were talking in spring training. Says we do our predictions every year, and I said the Braves will run away this year with the National League, but watch what happens in the playoffs. Things happen where the best team last year, the Dodgers, and they didn't get in. Watch this be the Dodgers' year. But I think with the pitching, it might be tough with the lack of
Danny, you might
pitching.
be right on, which would break that 0-13. Now it's 0-13. Good for you, Danny. Keep picking them. One's going to come in.
One of them's going to come in. I don't lose all the time. I usually do pretty good. I usually do pretty
having
good.
a tough September. You and a lot of teams are having a tough September.
Yeah,
Maybe you're getting tired. Maybe you didn't have any call-ups.
We've had a tough July, August, and September.
Yeah, tough July, August, and September. It's been
all right, Dan.
I tell you what, though,
Eric, good to be with you. Bora, good questions.
Absolutely, Ned. And you called it 2 months ago. The Dodgers are going to win the West.
Yeah, we should have showed them that one thing where I put up the Giants when the Giants were 2 back, and I said Dodgers will win by more than 10 games. I should have put 15 is what my gut.
It's only because I told you to say it, Dan.
Yeah, I get everything, all my good stuff from Ned. Hey, everybody, thanks, Ned. Have a great weekend up there in the Bay Area, and maybe catch some ball games next week if you're down here in Arizona, since you really don't know exactly where you're going to be. Haven't figured that out yet. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
I haven't. I got a lot of work to do.
Hey, we got one more.
Thanks for buying and reading the book.
Yeah, everybody get that book. Yeah, get that book. And then
get it. It's a great read.
Mark Hope finally says, go for it, Ned. Take an NFL GM job. The cross-pollination of sports is happening, as you know. There you go.
I've pollinated enough.
All right. The great Ned Colletti. Hey, thanks, Ned. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.
Take care.
All right. There we go. Ned Colletti. What a treat that was, huh?
That was a good show with him.
Yeah.
I like that. That was fun.
Yeah. I if this is a boxing match, I was knocked out in the second round.
Oh man, that was fun though. That was fun.
Yeah.
He wasn't backing down. He was throwing some roundhouses.
He was throwing some left hooks, some right uppercuts, and I was taking it on the chin. A couple of them. That all in fun. Yeah, always have fun.
Oh
with
yeah,
Ned.
and of course to announce the Giants did beat the Dodgers 5-1.
Yeah, Giants won 5-1, and who led the way?
Mania
and Marco Luciano and Tyler Fitzgerald.
Yeah, how about
the
kids?
The kids. Let's see.
There you go, Tom Ward. Exactly. How about those rooks tonight? Tyler and Marco. We just talking about it. Played the young guys the rest of the way.
And Yaz atoned for last night's gaffe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he hit a 2-run homer. Actually, was the game winner because they went on to win. 5-1. Dodgers never got anything going. So yes, Skrimsky. Yaz goes 2 for 4 with a home run. Marco Luciano goes 2 for 4. And Tyler Fitzgerald goes 1 for 4 with a 2-run knock. Man, that's got to be a great feeling. And so the Giants win it 5-1. They actually gain some ground. Let's take a look at the standings.
Who cares?
Let's see. Can the Giants please hire this guy? Please. Yes. That
Thank
would be
you,
great.
Glass Half Full.
That would be great. We'll send this tape to the Giants.
Andrew Bell, I haven't seen you in a while. Our visitor from Scotland says, "Hey guys, sorry I haven't been on live lately. Been getting up at 3 a.m. to watch this shit show. No way. Been watching every day. Loving Bora edition. There you go. Cool.
All right, there.
Thanks
Shout
for
out
$5,
to Bora.
He,
How about
matter of fact, that's £5, not $5.
Yeah, £5.
£5.
£5. And let's take a look just to see, because we always want to look at the updated standings, and we'll pull those up here very, very quickly and see what they are. I don't even know if they've been updated. Did the Giants at 500? Yes. So the Giants have a 1.3% chance. Look at the Padres at 1.2.
Right behind them. They're right behind them. They won again, 8 in a row.
Yes. Diamondbacks still sitting at 84 with a loss, even though a loss. Cubs at 51. And the Marlins,
the Diamondbacks
42.
are higher than the Cubs? Interesting.
Let's take a look at the standings. The wild card. Here we go. We'll see what's going on.
I'm not sure, PK. Not sure when Marty. I don't know if Marty. I don't know.
Giants are still 3 out. Like Ned said, they didn't gain any ground because they didn't gain on Chicago.
Nope. Exactly.
So Chicago won, and they were the Cubs gained ground on the D-backs. But this is kind of looking like I kind of predicted. Although I will say my early season predictions were off with the Mets and the Padres and the Cardinals. I had so 3 of those teams really faltered, but I did have, after the 6th spot, I had the wild cards as being the Padres, the Mets, and I had the Mets winning the division. No, the Braves. I had the Mets and the Phillies and the Padres as the wild card. And then the next team I had in order, I had Milwaukee, and then I had Arizona, Chicago, and then I had the Giants after that. I didn't have Miami or Cincinnati anywhere near the playoffs.
Right, exactly.
So pretty odd year. But I think I had the Giants at about the right spot. I had them around 9 or 10.
Yeah, and that's where you had them, I remember.
Yeah, and if we look at the overall standings in the expanded, in the National League, there we go. If we look at the Giants, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and I think they're going to finish 10th. I do think that San Diego
will surpasses
them.
They're on a run. That's for sure.
I think the Giants are in trouble tomorrow night with Kershaw going to the mound after a Dodger loss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to stuff. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Now, he may not go, he may only go 5 or 6 because they're probably going to save him for the playoffs, but he's always hard against the Giants. And he'll stuff for sure. And who's the Giants got? TBD, right?
Yeah, TBD. He's their ace. Yeah.
The Giants are facing Snell on Monday. Yeah, that's going to be a loss.
Do we know if anything happened to Slater?
Really? Snell on Monday? I thought Snell was going to go Sunday, but did they move him back?
I don't know.
Did Slater get hurt? Oh no, he just got pinch hit for Jock in the third or fourth inning.
That's so weird. He got one at bat.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. They liked the matchup. Gabe was Apple TV. I think they do a pretty good job with some of their reporting. They give you a different perspective of the game, a lot better than just the local networks. But they interviewed Gabe right after that inning. And, they felt like even though it was early in the game, they liked the matchup. And, Jock got a double,
Blah,
and then
blah, blah.
Yaz got the homer. So,
Blah,
but yeah. So, well, let's see. Was there any other stand? Oh, let's take a look at the American League. Let's kind of see what.
Yeah, funky things going on there, huh?
Yeah, in the American League,
Astros losing to the Royals.
Look at how those teams are bunched up.
They're all
Blue Jays, Rangers, Astros, and Mariners separated by a game and a half. I'm happy that Toronto's actually. You remember when we said which team was going to be on the out of the four teams: Toronto, Texas, Houston, or Mariners? I picked the Mariners, and it could be any one of the four because anything can happen. But I just kind of felt like Toronto. I mean, they've got Gosman. Who else have they got? Somebody else that's doing okay pitch wise, but they've got some bats,
Yeah, they got a deep lineup.
What's Brandon Belt doing, by the way? Has anybody?
Let's take a gander. Hold on.
So let's take a look at this wild card in the American League. There's the wild card. It's Toronto's got a 1-game lead with 8 left. Houston has 8 left. Seattle has 8 left. 84 and 69 is 150. Wait a minute. That's 150. Does Seattle have 9 left? Yeah. Seattle and Texas have 9 left. So, wow. This is going to come down to this is going to come down to the last weekend.
Yeah, it probably will.
And it, the Giants seem like on fumes. I give the Padres a better chance odds-wise because of the schedule. And when let's pull this back up, this National League, because
Senior, yes. I agreed.
What's Senior's comment?
MVPs, Acuna and Seager.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Take a look at the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. One of those teams that's in has to falter. Diamondbacks are playing 2 more in the Bronx with the Yanks. Then they go to Chicago for the White Sox for 3. Then they come home for their final 3 against the Astros, who are going to be playing desperately.
Yes, to try to just stay in it.
Exactly, because they could fall out tomorrow, be in the back, on the outside looking in with a loss. And this is going to get crazy because let's say the Diamondbacks have 8 left, right? 2 Yankees, 3. See, the Diamondbacks aren't that great when they don't have Kelly and Gallon on the
Gallon, yeah.
So they pitched those 2 against the Giants. So they're not pitching again in the Yankee series at all. What is the Yankees' record right now?
Bad. Robert is regressing on us.
He's not
schedule. We always play better against the elite teams.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Robert, what happened in August? Robert. Come on, man.
Oh, man. He's getting you going.
He is.
I think he's your special,
I think so.
I think we have an angel assigned to us. I think Robert's your.
I think
your
he just
tormentor.
wants to. He wants to get yelled at. I think that's what it is.
I think he's your personal tormentor. We all have an angel assigned to us. Robert's been assigned to Eric to just drive Eric batty.
That's what it was. I knew it. I knew that's what it was. I knew it. Good on you, Robert. That was good.
So look at this schedule, though, guys. Can Arizona Bora, can you see who won the season series between the Diamondbacks and the Padres?
Oh, you're looking at if it comes down to
Well, Arizona would have to win 3 of 8, go 3-5, and Padres would have to win out. So I want to see. I haven't eaten for a while here, so I'm gonna grab a bar here.
that.
Hold on.
Give it enough time, it'll come. Yesterday, I kind of went off a little bit. But yeah, Diamondbacks, man, looking bad against the horrible Yankees. They really got their butt whooping. Yeah, Judge had another 3-run game or 3-home run game. First Yankee ever to do that. Starship time. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about them taking off that interstage? I don't know. You thinking they're scrapping it and just going to go with what the original idea was? I don't know what's going on with them taking off the hot staging ring. We'll see, I guess.
I think the Diamondbacks have a 7-6.
Oh, so they get the series win against the Giants and the Padres, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
What was the verdict on this head-to-head between the Padres and the D-backs?
Diamondbacks have a 7-6.
Okay, so that means the Diamondbacks only have to win 2 games. And then what about and we know the Diamondbacks beat the Cubs. What about the Cubs? Cubs would probably be the closest team to catch.
Who's the Cubs got to play the rest of the way through?
I pulled that schedule up before on that email.
Here, I'll go to their Cubs website. Hold on.
All right, yeah, so how about the Cubs Padres series? Who won that? They played probably either 6 or 7 times.
Let me look that up quick.
Because I'm trying to figure out. I want the Padres to get in.
Oh,
That would be the ultimate winning bet.
So they got 2 more with Colorado, but then they got 3 with Atlanta, and it looks like 3 with the Brewers.
3 with Atlanta is not that big of a deal, probably, because Atlanta's, even though they're great, I don't know.
3 with the Brewers. And
all those teams are secure in their spots, so they're going to be resting guys.
All right, real quick. You said Brandon Belt. He's batting .251, 369 on base, 16 home runs, 22 doubles.
Mark says, do you still believe the Pods? I never said they're going to make the playoffs, Mark, as far as in the last month. I thought they would early on, but
Brandon Belt's OPS, 839.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I think the Pods have I'm just saying if they do make the playoffs, they would be probably a team you wouldn't want to have to face, because they would be going in on a super high. And the odds are very, very slim.
You wanted the Cubs and D-backs, right?
No,
or Cubs Padres.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of teams clinched today. I guess Milwaukee clinched. The Twins clinched.
4-3, the Cubs have it.
Ooh, good question, Krister. Hey, fellas, is Crawford returning or is he retiring?
I think he's either retiring as a Giant or he's going to play one more year somewhere else.
I think he'll retire as a Giant.
Yeah, you think that last game is going to be it for him?
Yeah.
On the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Think so too.
Which would be pretty cool. I think the best way for me to do it is send him out. I don't care if you're winning or losing.
Yeah, send him out to pitch.
Well, no, I mean, unless for some crazy reason it's the last game of the season, the Giants have a shot. But if they're eliminated, which I fully expect that to happen, probably during the San Diego series, Send him out. Let him play the full game if he's capable. And in the start of the bottom of the ninth inning or top of the ninth, have Marco Luciano come jogging out and let Brandon Crawford jog off the field at shortstop with the heir apparent taking his place.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
A symbolic and let
passing of the torch.
And let 40,000 people give Crawford his due.
20,000 maybe.
Hopefully, if they play it right.
Yeah, right.
They don't know how to promote, but promote it. You could say it in a way that's not. You could say, impossibly Brandon Crawford's last game. Because really, we don't know.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I think I'm gonna get off. I'm pretty tired. I've had a long day today.
No worries.
All right. Hey,
thanks for coming on, Bora.
Yep.
You want me to send you a trade, Bora?
You send me a trade, I'll be up till 2 thinking about it.
Man.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, Dan, did you set for subs or no?
I did.
Good.
All right. See you guys.
All right, take it easy, Bora. Yeah, any action? I don't think there's any action going on right now, right? I haven't seen any new trades coming through.
No, let's make some.
Let's make some.
Come on.
Friday night.
Friday night. Otherwise, if you don't make it tonight, it doesn't count for the weekend.
Here we go. Here, let's get rid of that. Let's hear. No breaking news yet.
For what?
For trades. I got it already, just in case something happens. MF, give me Garoppolo. No. No. What is career average? It's not good. But he was a good fielding shortstop.
Who? Crawford?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Can you change that word, please? You can change that word?
Exactly. That's right. Crew is one of the best at his position for some time.
You're gonna change that? You're gonna change that word, or you're gonna let me, or you're gonna make me change it?
Go for it. That's the only thing. Yes, that is true. He didn't have range, but boy, when he did make that catch, he had that arm and it was an accurate arm.
Hey, his range was fine for years. He was great.
Yeah, he was. He was.
He was
Not
great.
so much now. Not so much now, though. But he does deserve to have a send-off. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting my dinner. I had one meal today. I was with Los. I was out with Los today in his neck of the woods. What's the name of that place we went to? Good something? I have to ask my wife. I was wondering if you guys have them up there. I don't have any by my side, but.
How was it? Pretty good?
It was really good. I was so full because I went ahead and I hadn't eaten since like 1 o'clock today. So.
Marcana, was it Olive Garden?
No. It was is Los in here?
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh, come on. Somebody's trying to be funny and get noticed on the chat.
Uh-oh.
Who is that? Who's sending me this ridiculous trade? Is this Trock? Yeah. Okay, Trock. You got me back. That's a good one.
Let's see what we got here.
Hey, Heroku, is he in here?
He was in here earlier. I haven't seen him in a while, though.
Sent him 2 reasonable trades that he should take.
Let's see where we are. Have been done yesterday. I think
is your internet going out, or is your mic going out?
It is my internet. Might be. That's weird. I'm plugged in. Who knows? I might have to call Xfinity, find out what's going on.
Oh, the
Dan
famous pizza
is
place.
Still at 17 moves. Dodger Dan.
Two.
Heroku is at 10.
Who's more Katna says, trade with me. I'll give you all the best so you can be the best.
He's not in the league.
He's not in the league, though. Listen to this trade from Trock. This is hilarious. He wants to give me Justice Hill, running back, way down on the totem pole. Darnell Mooney, the Bears. Dalton Kincaid, tight end, and Kareem Hunt for Stephon Diggs and Derrick Henry.
Nice.
I love it. You got me.
Oh, look what he says. A Dan style trade.
That's I don't even make those moves.
Hey, what did you think of what Ned had to say about Buster? I like that. I like that.
I did too.
And you know what? You know who would be a great mentor for Mr. Posey?
Ned.
That's what I said. I said that if you look at the tweet that I retweet or not retweeted, but I replied to Larry, let Ned be the head of baseball operations. Let Buster come in as GM. Ned can take him under his wing for a few years. And then Buster can move right up into the head of baseball ops.
Well, that would be awesome.
Yes, I did. In that same tweet, I also said, if you can get Yadi Molina as a manager, I don't know if you could sway him away from St. Louis because they may want to be involved with him somehow. But why not, right? I think he'd be a fantastic. I mean, from the kind of ball player that he was, I would think he'd be a good manager. But sometimes you think someone's in the right or may have the right skills for a certain position. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I just don't know if it can happen. You would have to probably pay him quite a bit of money to try to lure him over, but the Giants have that money. So
I don't want to make another.
Could you imagine that though?
I don't want to make another trade on Saturdays. Those stink.
No, never do trades on Saturday, right?
Because they don't go through till Tuesday.
I think Vogt would be a decent manager too, but man, Vogt or Medina or Molina, I think I'd go with Molina.
I'd go with Medina though. He'd be good.
Medina, yeah, he's pretty decent.
Medina, yeah.
The funky cold, yeah.
Sean Mania, man.
Well, you know what? You can't.
Made himself some money tonight.
Oh yeah, he did. And that's how I was going to tell Robert Earth earlier. He's like, why couldn't he have pitched like this? Well, now he's trying to pitch for a future contract. That's the reason why he's going out there and dealing.
Well, I think they've also just put him in a starter's role. Like they screwed with his head.
And you know what? Maybe the Giants want him to opt out. So they said, okay, just go out and prove what you can. So you got to get a bigger contract, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Oh, but hey, Mark, what I was going to say about the hitting, you know what? I'm going to leave that to the professionals. I'm not going to say who's going to be a good hitting or pitching coach. I want the general manager to be able, or the head of baseball operations, whoever it may be. Those are the guys that got to, decide who's going to be the best manager, and then let the manager decide who do you think is going to be the best complement of how they want to, where they want to go as far as instructional type stuff.
Correct.
Because we may say, oh yeah, this guy was a great hitter and he should be a hitting coach, but he may just not have the skills to be able to teach. So just saying.
Yeah.
If you're solid up top, then everything else will take care of itself.
I saw some comments. What was Lou saying earlier? I saw something with Lou. Where did Lou's comment go?
Good point, MF. I don't know where Pete Petulia is.
I was just thinking of Pete Petulia. I was thinking, like, is he in a position of could he take over, or is he a guy that would be on the outs if Farhan got let go? Real quick,
Trock asked, paraphrase what the conversation with Buster. He said, no, I think I asked, right? Yeah, about Buster. And then he said,
somebody asked the question.
Yeah, that was me. Oh, wait, no, or was it someone? No, it was someone in the chat. Mm-hmm. It was a senior. It was senior softball games. Yeah, that's what it was. And basically Ned said he has the smarts, he has the ability. The only thing he doesn't know is does he have the time? And that's going to be the key, because as a GM,
He said, does he want to work 12 months a year?
exactly, the time. Exactly. So it sounds like he is more than qualified. It's just up to him if he wants to be able to actually do the job or not. Interesting. And it sounded like he really, that's why I was asking him, with that meeting, when I meant the itch, I didn't meant the itch to come back to San Francisco. I mean, I guess it kind of came out of that, but I meant just the itch to get back into being in baseball.
Hey, maybe you never know. I mean, maybe
like he keeps saying that. He keeps saying they know my number, they know where to reach me.
plus he was there at the club. They brought him back.
And here's another thing. Where is he this weekend?
Oh, I wasn't going to go there. I thought about it.
Yeah,
I almost said
I meant
at the end.
text
I was
that.
going to say, "Hey, tell us how your interview went." No,
because I was going to say something. I wasn't going to say something while he was on, but after during this time, I was going to be like, "Hey, it's not that far away from San Francisco. Wonder if we went and paid someone a visit." Yeah, he's definitely. You could tell that that passion is there for wanting to be part of the game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I recommend that book, guys. It's a really good book. It talks a lot about when during his Dodger days, but it just gives you a really good glimpse in being a general manager and dealing with the turmoil that he had to deal with during that time when the Dodgers were being sold and all this other. It's pretty good.
Hiroku's not in here tonight, huh?
He was in here earlier, like
Hiroku,
in the very
you out
beginning. I don't know if he's around now, but he was in.
Say hello, Hiroku, if you're there. What
do we got here? Andrew Bell says it looks like to me the players don't like Kapler. Yeah,
well,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, the article today. Go check out the Athletics article today with
Baggerly.
Andrew Baggerly.
Oh, that's interesting what Lou said. Ned will be a Sharks GM before the Giants again. Sharks are a mess indeed.
Oh, Eric L. Dan, can you show Kapler and Webb pregame convo that? Oh, someone Weback first put that out. I saw it on Twitter. They're walking in the outfield together.
Oh, who cares?
I know. That's why I was like, who cares what they're, talking about? It's like
is that what you got to go?
The thing I took out of it was not so much that they were walking out in the outfield, but that Kapler was walking with his cut off shirt, like a tank top. I'm thinking to myself, who does this? The guy walking around, flexing, showing how much. I mean, dude, you were a steroid user in the day you played. I mean, there's no way you had a neck like that without doing roids. That wasn't even a baseball body.
Yep. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that.
Smoke goes good with the smoke.
Gotta balance the smoke. When you balance the smoke, everything else comes into play. You got, that crab burrito sandwich meat jalapeno is second to none to the dead burger between the buns.
Yeah, you gotta balance the smoke, and then you gotta water the plants because the soil has to be really rich.
And then we go stand in the shade while I go yell at Kai Correa because he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. And then I got to go back and tend to the soil, figure out what to do with Yaz because he doesn't know how many outs there is. And then at that point, I got to pinch hit for Slater because I don't know what the hell's going on with Slater, even though I love the guy.
I had a great one tonight on the Crook and Kite Facebook group on the Giants. It's got.
It sounds like the cookie wants across.
Cookie, big Cookie Monster.
C is
Hey,
for cookie. That's
big
good
Cookie.
enough for me.
Cookie, hey, what's happening, Kermit the Frog?
Cookie Monster, please don't eat all the cookies. Save some for me and Piggy, please.
Hey, Kermit, shut the hell up.
I really like pork. That's why I love eating Miss Piggy.
Oh my god! Sounds like Randy. Oh my gosh!
Hey,
I just started telling. I just let it flow. I did it. There's nothing in my mind. I'm just talking. Oh man!
so
That's a hell of a Kermit.
Kermit the Frog here. We're gonna have a really big show. We got
That's a little bit of Ed Sullivan in there.
Ed Sullivan. We got a little bit of Ed Sullivan here. A really big show with Ed Sullivan and Kermit the Frog.
So stop making fun of Holmes. Mahomes was hilarious.
Yeah, we're gonna throw the ball a lot. I really I really like throwing to Tony, but Tony has no hands. So, but I think we got a really good shot when Travis Kelce comes back.
So here's the line of the night. I'm reading this Facebook. I'm reading this Facebook group, and I wanted to take a picture of it, and when I hit it to save it, it got messed up. So I'm going to do it by memory. There was somebody said in the Facebook group with a caption, "What was going on with Kapler and Kai Correa?" And then people were commenting, and one guy said, Correa was asking if he can sit on Gabe's shoulder so he could see the game.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I love that one.
Can you do Beaker? Can you do Beaker? Oh man.
Yeah, those were some funny comments.
Oh, that's so damn funny.
What the hell are you doing, Kai? I'm walking out there looking like an idiot.
I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't see it, Gabe. I couldn't see your muscles were in the way.
I'm over here flexing my hand tattoo. I'm not focusing on the game. So did the damn ball hit his glove or not?
I don't know. I'd go out there and argue with the umps, Gabe. Don't ask Wilmer. He wouldn't know if it hit his glove. Just go straight to the umps.
Hey, Kai, and you're trying to grow that beard. I got some steroids that'll help that beard for you.
Yeah. I've been giving some steroids to Nick. Look at how big Nick's
Yeah,
got.
that's how it's gonna go. Yeah, hey, look at Nick. He's got a thick old beard from using my formula.
Yeah, look at those muscles. Nick was a little pencil neck geek just like you. Before he
now he's my clone.
Roid package.
Now he's my clone. So when people want to try to take a snipe at me, they may hit Ortiz.
That's right. My next target is Nacken. I want Nacken to look like me. Nacken's gonna have a full-grown beard by
all right,
next
Krister.
year.
Have fun over there in Minnesota.
Yeah, could you see a brawl? It would be like wrestling. Correa would get thrown out by Gabe to the mound.
He'd come over the top of the handrail.
Take that, Kai. Telling me to go out and saying Acuna missed third base. Now you embarrassed the really heck out of me. Now you sent me out there against the L.A., man. I came from L.A. I'm out there talking to the umps. Like, why wasn't that a foul ball, man? The ball landed in foul territory. Can't you see that? It was 7 feet foul. How did you call that fair? Well, Gabe, ball went off the glove of Wilmer Flores. He was in fair territory.
Remember last year when he tossed Kai? Remember?
Oh, yeah, if we gave him a push.
He just barely touched him and the guy went flying. Oh, man.
All right, I got keep talking. I'm going to make a deal here.
Oh, here we go.
There's Haruku. There he is. He's back.
There we
Haruku, we're
go.
trying to swing a deal. Haruku,
There
go
we go.
check. I got 2 deals to you. I think they're good.
2.
Get a deal done. Well, he's got to take one or the other. Haruku, take the deal tonight. Otherwise, it doesn't get. If it goes in after midnight, it doesn't clear till Tuesday. This way, it could clear Sunday morning.
Oh, so here we go. The countdown is on. We got an hour and what? Almost 20 minutes, an hour and 19 minutes to go until the deadline.
Graves. That's a good one.
Yep, that's a good one. Yep. He doesn't need any help from Kai.
Oh, he rejected it. Now he's going to come back with some lame counter.
It's him. Let me see. How many moves does Haruku have?
Yeah, is he one of those like guys, the boy that cried wolf?
He's got 10. He's got 10 moves. So
he's got
doing
10 moves.
something.
Okay, he's.
I don't know what kind of moves they are, but they're 10 moves.
It might be waiver pickups.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Has he made a trade yet?
Uh-oh. What's this? Do we need to cue the music?
Is there?
Whoa!
Trade transaction.
Here we go.
I don't see a deal.
Nope.
I don't see a deal.
False alarm.
False alarm. Yeah, could you imagine? Oh, that's MF. Trent Baalke is MF. But thanks, Trent. We take the sub.
Wait, now, did you see this, Dan? Did you see
No.
Susser call titled "Why Do Some Giants Struggle with Confidence?" It's part of the system.
Maybe they should get the
What?
Maybe they should get.
Whew.
Oh, he
I
just
don't
sent
get
me. He just sent me the article. Maybe we can put it up.
Put it up. Yeah, send it to your email and then.
I
Wow.
can't. I gotta pay for that one. I refuse to pay for that one. I gotta it unless it's
Oh.
posted. Let's see.
Yeah, the Chronicles behind the paywall.
All right. Who wants the deal?
Who wants-
Farhan Dan Zaidi. That's right. Except I make big moves. I don't do these shuffling back into the 40 roster like
Nah,
Farhan.
you had a shuffling one last night.
Well, sometimes you got to shuffle. You can't just be trading all your guys. Like, all right, here we go. Who wants a deal? Who wants to deal?
Baba Booey says after the game last night, Kapler gave Kai a Melvin.
I'm gonna see what Trock's doing out there.
Dan Eric should call into FP. I'll call into Bill Lasky tomorrow.
I like Trock. So what's Trock got to say? What's Trock got? Trock talk. Trock is weak on wide receivers.
Hey, Dan, Senior says it works on an iPhone if you just put it in the reader mode.
Okay, I'll try that. Who is
Trock is going to take your soul. Damn.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Back. Let's see.
This week I have a pretty who's Cameron. Right now I'm starting off okay. We'll see how We'll see how the weekend and Monday goes. I think I got guys going on. Let me see. Yeah, Sunday, and one Monday. So we'll see how that works out.
Check her out, Trock.
Trock, I'm a nice guy. Damn, Kyle.
Here's
We'll see how it goes, Andrew. I need to get a win, man. I got to get off the schneid.
Here we go. Listen to this. Senior sent me an excerpt from the article.
Let's hear it.
Industry insiders. Hey, Trock, while you're listening, check out your Yahoo Fantasy app for a trade request there. Industry insiders and scouts said Friday that it's Friday. That's today.
Today.
Interesting. This is fresh. This is like this dog crap we were talking about stepping in last night. This is really fresh.
Fresh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Fresh. Yes, MF, send me a. Okay. Industry insiders and scouts said Friday that it's not a surprise that the Giants players don't have a ton of confidence in themselves, the way they're often used by the team. And this is an organizational philosophy, seems almost designed to demonstrate a lack of faith in them. Starters are signed to start, then wind up in the bullpen. Ross Stripling, Sean Manaea, returning Alex Wood. Position players wind up in unexpected platoons at times. Psychologically, you're telling players they're not good enough, one industry expert said. So why would free agents want to go there? Oh, my goodness. The same thing that Dan and Eric and Los and Bora have been saying for the last several months.
Yep.
Look at Philadelphia. They're going to be so good in the playoffs because they have a manager who is not driven by analytics. And then I'll have let's see, where's the rest? He understands the psychology of the players so well. He really knows how to create confidence. Giants manager Gabe Kapler follows the organizational philosophy of trying to maximize each matchup down to each plate appearance. Jeez, that's meant using openers much of the season. It just goes, oh my goodness. It's all, oh gosh. Everybody sees it. I don't even know why. Yeah, why would a player want to come here unless he's such a weak player that he gets more playing time?
Right. I said this in the beginning of the season. The Giants are like a quadruple A. we're like a rehab for the rest of the major leagues.
Trock. I can't do that, Trock. But I would be, if you want a receiver,
I'll tell you what, Senior, you're onto something with that, because if Slusser is writing this kind of stuff, that's pretty damn big, like you said.
Yeah.
And it could be the start of something.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Look how many people are coming out. You got Eric Burns, Tom Verducci. Now you're starting. The funny thing is it started there first. Well,
it's
I shouldn't say it started there first. We started it first. But as far as the national media attention is what started it, and now the local are starting to kind of bandwagon on it. They didn't want to be the first ones to come out and say it for protection purposes, but now that the national media comes out, now it's just an open season for the local media to be able to kind of say maybe what they've been holding back. Yeah, Bags did the same thing, right? Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, Giants are always working the PR. Yeah, it probably is. They're probably being directed. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure they got a green light from the organization to be able to print this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Hey, there you go, MF. There you go. We're going to stay on here until a deal gets done.
Truck says, Dan, my wide receivers are okay.
I see that. Bags 2 today. Yep. Did you get the art? Did you see the article, Senior? I've got it if you need it. Were you able to give me a thumbs up. You could text me or whatever. I did send that out, or did I send that out to both you and
Yeah, you sent it to me
you
and
and Senior?
Was it Senior? I think it was Senior. Yeah, earlier today. Yeah.
Or who did I send
Yeah,
it
Senior
to?
said he found it.
Or maybe I sent it to. I got
Was
so
it
many.
Bora? Yeah, we got so many damn. I'm in so many groups with almost the same people.
Interesting. Let's go back to Trock. Trock.
Yeah, Baggerly's is on the Athletic. And real quick, it sounds like Ned's a busy guy, huh? It says he's all over the place. Wonder what's going on. I wonder if it has some scouting for the Sharks, maybe.
Yeah. There's
because he's an actual scout, so he's going to be on the road a lot if he's doing that.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. If you guys should go catch a game, because he said he would like to try to catch that game if he can.
Oh yeah, with the
Diamondbacks and the Astros.
That might be fun to actually go to a game to see that kind of a competitive game. That'd be like a playoff game. You know it?
Yep.
That would be.
Yeah, you're right, Eric. There is a lot of noise coming from every direction. That tells you that.
Yeah, there really is. The noise is getting more and more. That's why I sent that to Slusser. I said, who cares what no one's going to know what they're talking about in the outfield, and who cares?
But okay,
go ask him what he feels.
Hold on. How about to their credit? Maybe this is something that's never happened before, and that's why they're identifying. Now, if they said out of the whole season, we've never seen this before, and they're out there walking on the field, okay, well, maybe there's something there then. But just to say, yeah, look at them walking on the field. That's a little bit weird.
Yeah. What do we got here? That's not very good. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think how do I word this? The way Farhan has used analytics with the Giants, I think maybe has gave a bad taste in the mouth to the Giants. I think Ned complements. He will use analytics as part as a tool, but he's also a proven GM, and he's got history with the organization. So I don't see why they wouldn't have him come back if they wanted him. I mean, I would think that he would come if they called. I would not be surprised if he accepts. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, just press it.
A lot depends on, I guess, see what they do if the Giants fight back and, they're not making the playoffs, but what happens if they win 83 games, all of a sudden they beat, they're beating the Dodgers and they're going to miss out. But
I think the writing's on the wall. I don't think that's going to matter now.
It shouldn't. I don't see how they. I really think the Dodgers win the next two.
This road trip is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I think we'll see.
Hope you're right. Let's see. What do we got here? We're reading.
Oh, I need a neck massage. Oh.
Oh, what do we got? What do we got here? Oh, who was walking on the field? Oh, it was
Webb and Kapler.
Webb and Kapler. Yeah. No, I did not hear this. Justin said, "Did you hear Kapler got mad on John Miller on the pregame for questioning the Yaz mistake last night?"
Oh no,
I didn't hear that.
He's losing his
Losing his cool.
He's losing his cool if he got mad at John Miller.
Yep.
That is grounds right there.
Oh, for immediate dismissal.
I mean, no, seriously.
You don't question John Miller in that, because John Miller isn't gonna. He's asking a legitimate question. Why not?
Right.
He has made a mistake.
Can somebody play that? Where was that? Is anybody?
That's probably on KMBR. So I don't. Is there a pre? I don't know if you could pull it up online anywhere.
When was it on the pregame? Anybody hear it?
It's probably I talked
Miller
with Cap.
Pregame for questioning Yaz's mistake last night. Let me see.
Yep.
Shoot.
Gabe knows he's on the hot seat. Yep. Good point.
How can we?
I don't think you can, because you don't want to do that unless someone's got it posted on Twitter somewhere, because it's a KMBR thing.
Let me see if I can find that.
If you can.
Twitter.
I'll be right back. Give me a minute.
All right. Oh, Eric left me, man. That means I got to carry my own show. It's on 2:35 mark of the Gabe Kapler show. Is that on the Giants on KMBR MF? Let me pull up the KMBR. Talk about my hat. Yeah, Texas Rangers. Hey, is Will Martinez in the house tonight? He was at the Texas Rangers game a couple days ago. Let's see. Giants game day, post-game wrap. Giants game day podcast, Tolbert. I'm going through. It was on the Gabe Kapler show. Oh, here it is. Gabe Kapler show. Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, I'm going to pull this up and listen to it first before and judge the content of it. And if it's worthy, I will play it. I'm going to mute myself so I don't have it in this background here. Hold on. I am just listening to it right now. I'm listening.
The blame on him.
Listening to the answer right now here, so. So far, I'm listening. I don't think Gabe's tone sounds upset. So I'm just going to finish listening to this real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm listening to it so I don't put something that's copyrighted over on the show. So I can't do it unless it's been tweeted out. So hold on one sec. Okay, so Gabe did at the end of that go off, which I'm not sure if he was going off on John Miller or in general for people questioning Yaz. I'd have to listen to it again. He did get pretty upset there at the end.
So did you find it?
I did. I listened to it because I was having to mute, so we were
Right.
having some dead air. I'm trying to listen to it and see and gauge whether Gabe was upset at Miller or just upset in general of anybody who would question Yaz. Because the way Miller framed the question, it was very, very kind. It wasn't,
The tone was normal.
Yeah, very normal. And Gabe started off very normal, but at the very end, he turned and he said it's utterly BS to get on Yaz and he needs the support. So it may be at Miller. If that's the case, if that was directed at Miller, he's done. He's done because he just said that Miller is getting on him in any way is just utter BS. And he said it in a tone where he was frustrated.
Wow.
So I wish we could play it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'd love to hear your thoughts. Go on the KMBR app. You have it, right, Eric?
Not the app. I should be able to play it on the website, huh?
Yeah.
Let
And
me
it's
see.
just the Gabe Kapler podcast at the 2:35 mark. The Gabe Kapler show.
Right. Let me see if it's on here.
Did
you see what Heroku said?
I did. I'm going to look at that. That's probably I'm sure it's just pure fantasy. Let's see.
Come on, what's going on here?
Ain't doing it. Ain't doing it. No, ain't doing it. No. I don't like that one. Let's see. Reject. What do we got?
The Gabe Kapler show. There it is. What was the time frame?
2 minutes, 35 seconds. And it goes to about just over 4 minutes. So it's about a minute and a half. Just listen to it and listen closely.
Here we go.
I'll do the listen to the end of it.
Yeah, I'm at 2:30. I'm gonna listen right now.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go on. I'll let you fade out. So yeah, having to listen to Kapler's voice for 24 hours straight would be great. A great U.S. military interrogation technique. That would be torture. Oh my goodness. You're probably right, Heroku, but hopefully, hey, check out the other one, Minor Swap. Check that one out. Let's see. What else we got in the chat here? Oh yeah, we could do that. I think you can play that, a clip. We'll see what Eric says when he comes back.
I don't know. That's hard to tell what he was.
Hard to tell if he was on.
I think he's talking about just all the chatter from every.
Yeah, I think that's what he was doing.
I don't
too.
think he was saying it directly to John Miller.
That's what I kind of took out of it too. I thought it was just a general because of all the.
Because everyone was getting on him, so
yeah,
whatever.
Right. So, yeah.
It's funny, MF. I grew up in Tracy. No one ever took a stroll down San Joaquin River. But it's all different over there now with all the river islands in Lathrop. It used to be just all farmland out there right next to the damn river. Now it's all big, giant community.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Ha! Even that clock thinks Kapler's cuckoo. Yep, that's our cuckoo clock. A little bit off. That thing's hard to freaking get tuned just right to stay on the right time. Yeah, I listened to it on the KMBR podcast. He wasn't taking Miller to task. I think he's just talking about this, all the talk of what everyone's saying about Yaz. I don't think it was a personal attack on John Miller. River Islands. Ron Wotus. I think he does the spots for River Islands as well. What do we got here? Yeah, they use that at Gitmo, right? You'll get all the bad guys singing, right? Just stop. I'll tell you what you want. Just no more Kapler.
No more Kapler.
Oh man. What do we got here? Brian Murphy here with your friends at Provident Credit Union. Yep. So what's up with that Jamar Chase trade? Not going to happen?
No.
Dead on arrival?
Yeah.
What was he asking for? Like half your team?
I can't even remember it. I'll have to look at it. Let me look at the email.
Only got 51 more minutes. 51 more minutes to get those trades in.
Yeah, come on. I want to get a deal done tonight. Come on. On the show. Yeah, it was Devontae Smith, Christian Watson, and Jonathan Taylor for Chase, Tank Dell, and Gardner Minshew. So basically it was Smith, Watson, and Taylor for Chase and for Chase.
It says Brown, Watson, JT, right?
Yeah. I mean, Minshew's not going to get much playing time for me, or probably for anyone else for that matter, unless they're going to go with Richardson, unless he gets traded.
Oh, yeah, John Lund, Modesto Toyota. Yes. Hear that spot all the time, too.
Dan looking for a blue light special.
Ha! Kmart. Man, that was the place to go back in the day.
It was. Who's here on the leg right now? We got Trock.
We got
MF.
Heroku, MF. Haven't seen Will Martinez or Will B tonight.
Will B. Gabe's food review.
I don't know if any Kmarts are still open. I have no idea.
Yeah, not sure.
Heroku says it doesn't sound like JT is coming back to the Colts.
He may get traded.
Yeah. He actually did at the end. He was doing he did a spot for a realtor, either insurance or realtor, right at the end, right before he left. I remember him doing that. I think that was the only commercial he ever done, I think.
Who was that?
Gary Radnich.
Ah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. They might have forced him. You know, I was actually surprised Sears went. No, I just used to listen to KMBR all the time. All the time.
All the time.
All the time. But yeah, Sears, that was one I was surprised to go under. It was never cheap shopping at Sears, though. Holy criminy. No, I sure didn't, Nick. Eric L says, hate to say this, but if the Rams continue playing like they are, JT to the Rams. Book it.
Yeah. I don't know. What you eating, Eric?
Peanut M&Ms. Bill Lasky is doing the show tomorrow from one of the many Lenardi's market locations around the Bay Area. Lenardi's. Oh, how the heck did that go? Oh, my gosh. Simply the best, right? Isn't that what it was? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out, Nick.
And I think Haruko and I have had so many trade requests back and forth.
Seriously, you guys
that
have probably
nothing has ever
simply
come of it.
the best. Yes, that's what
Nothing
I thought.
has come of it.
No, I said nothing like, or yeah, I was close. I was close. Bill and Vida said it at the same time. Yep. Simply the best. Diarrhea. Simply the best. Golden State Lumber. Yep. With live vignettes. No, that's not Golden State Lumber though. Which one is that one? Oh, that's the like the appliances. What the heck is that one? What is that one? There's Will Martinez. With live vignettes.
I think Dan. Hey, Will, tell us how the ball game was in Texas, and how was the barbecue down there?
Don't forget about the Redwood Credit Union, guys. What happened to that one guy that he was a window replacement guy? And he says, even if your house was built with potato chips, we wouldn't crack a window, or we wouldn't crack your stucco, or something like that. Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's funny. You got all those. Yeah.
Yep, that's who it was. I knew it was. I don't know if he was Russian. I thought he was Middle Eastern the way it sounded, but yeah, it was probably Russian. Even if your house was made of potato chips, we wouldn't crack it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Texas had some excellent barbecue. When I was stationed over there, holy majolies. Whoo! There's a place
Oh,
called the
yeah.
Branding Iron. Oh my God, it was so good. Man, oh man, that was so good. Go see Cal Worthington and my dog Spot.
Oh yeah. That's
Yep.
Go see Cal. Go see
Go see
Cal.
Cal.
Go,
Yep.
go see
Yep.
Cal.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, I was stationed up near Wichita Falls, the Will Martinez. I was there for 4 years. Yeah, that great barbecue. Man. Awesome Mexican food too. Whoo! 9th Street Burrito Shop. My goodness. Mm. Kyle, I tried to donate my car 7 years ago and they offered me $100. I was like, wow, can I punch you through my phone? See what else we got here. Dan's still working the deals.
I am. Said I am. Da. 1, 2.
Bill doing it in Millbrae.
Hey, Buster, stop it. Stop it.
It's funny. Hey, Will, when I was stationed at Wichita Falls, we went to, I don't know.
Wichita Falls. That's where my son-in-law was.
Yeah, that's Shepherd Air Force Base. Yep.
Shepherd, yeah.
And that place is middle of nowhere. But
yeah.
We went, do they still have the damn, oh my God, what is it called? Why can't I think of it? Medieval Times. Do they still got Medieval Times in Dallas? I think it's Dallas or close by there. They still got that over there, Will? That place was so much damn fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I don't know if those are still open. I know there's only a few locations. I don't know.
Actually, I got my Air Force Academy shirt.
There you go. Yeah, Colorado Springs.
Yep.
But yeah, you ever been to a Medieval Times? A lot of fun. Eric, there needs to be an email sent to Larry Bayer, Dan. He needs to know how unhappy fans are.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he probably has an understanding by now, I would think. Oh, there you go. See? Yeah, matter of fact, we went in Anaheim once. Goodness, when the heck was that? That was years ago. We did it once over there in Anaheim, and we did it once in Dallas. A lot of fun. Oh, there you go. See? Yeah, it was so much fun. This is around right around the time when Braveheart came out. And they got an armory. They got an armory inside this place where you could go buy you could buy swords, a whole bunch of different stuff. I was like, man, do you got the one that William Wallace has? And he goes, here you go. And he showed it to me. Yeah. I said, do you have the one that was like on Braveheart? And he goes, yeah, here it is. We call it the William Wallace. And I picked it up and I was like, oh. And I immediately ran to a ATM, pulled out the money and got the damn sword right then and there. I'm not a fan of Whataburger, man. I'm not a fan of Whataburger. No, thanks. I'll pass on that. The Texas barbecue is where it's at. The Whataburger, not so much.
I I'm not liking this.
We contemplating?
Yeah.
Whataburger. 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 Oh, I messed that one up. The pronunciations, is it Whataburger or Whataburger?
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Burger. Burger. Shake Shack burgers are really good.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good.
Remember back in the day, Foster's Freeze? Whoo.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Matter of fact, there's one in Lodi.
Yeah.
I need to get one from there. I don't know if it's the same when I was a kid. You know, things change. They're milkshakes, though.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gas in Texas is $3.12. Man, it must be nice. Must be nice. I don't even know the last time we had $3 gas in California. God.
Oh, what is it now? 5 what?
Oh my God. It's been a little while, but yeah, it's up there.
Interesting.
Broiler burger in Santa Rosa. $5.19. Yeah, that sounds about right. Hey, Nick, where do you live, Nick? Are you in California? Yeah. Oh, yeah. $6.30 a gallon. Yeah, diesel. Yeah. Oh, Clovis. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Nice. It's better you say Clovis and not Fresno. I did some railroad training in Fresno, out in the UP yard out there. Shithole. Air Force crushed my team tonight, but it happens. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Down we dive. Yeah, it's basically the same. Yeah. Matter of fact, we were looking at maybe possibly moving up there at Course Gold, but then the good old California Fair Fire Plan. You know, I don't know if you know anything about the Fair Fire Plan there, Nick, but yeah, it's no bueno. It increases the price of a house by like $500 a month, and if not more.
Really?
Yeah. If Fresno is the butthole of California, well, Barstow is the armpit. Barstow, armpit of America.
All right.
Huh.
There you go. My last and final offer.
And final offer. You sound like, what's his name?
Heroku. I just did now check this out.
Huh.
How much
That's cool.
fairer than that? 131.5 I would be getting in point and giving.
Oh, cool. FPS. I didn't know. You live in Lodi. Awesome. Cool.
I'd be giving 131.9 and getting back 131.5. Look at that. That is a huge deal. Look at that. That's just like they recommend, say, extremely fair, but no, this is an extremely close deal, but you'd be unloading the best asset in the trade.
Yeah.
And not getting quite enough value back for us to recommend pulling the trigger on it.
Don't get me started on that, because we wanted to move up there, but because of the damn fire hazard that's up there, that they look at the elevation, they look at like the the layout of your property, how many trees you got by it, and if you're in a high fire zone, they won't insure you. You'll get no insurance to insure you, and then you got to go with the California Fair Plan, which is basically additional insurance. You get regular home insurance, and then you got to get fair fire, and that's like up to $500 a month, and there's no cap. It could continue to go up. Oh, so we had to stop looking at a whole bunch of different areas just because of that stupid ass with all these damn wildfires in California. Yeah, pain in the ass. Yeah, Lodi's not bad. Lodi's not bad. I don't mind going there. I go there often for Costco, and I go there for Lowe's because I'm in Galt, so it's kind of closer to get to Lodi. I hate getting on the 99 going up to Elk Grove if I can pass. I'd rather just go to Lodi. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's bullshit, man. Can you imagine that? You get the house of your dreams and you can't get the damn thing insured because of a damn fire.
California, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid. It was never like that before. I grew up in Tracy my whole life, right? I should say until I joined the Air Force. I don't ever remember this happening. Now all of a sudden, whatever. Times have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough, Kyle. Man, the smoke down here was so bad for like a month. Damn. But yeah, FPS, I get up to Lodi quite often. Oh, you went to CS? Oh, Turkey Tech. Nice. You went to Turkey Tech. Good deal. Oh, no kidding. Monte Vista. You know where I went, Will Martinez? I went to St. Bernard's and then Tracy High. When I went to high school, there was no West High. No West High.
You went to high school?
No.
I didn't think so, but
Monte Vista. Yeah, that was the big you had Monte Vista, St. Bernard's, and that was pretty much the only middle schools. Yeah, that was pretty much the only middle schools you could go to. Turkey Tech. You never heard of Turkey Tech? Come on, man. You went to Stanislaus.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, my grandfather, they were big dairy farmers in Tracy. Back when Tracy was small and everyone kind of knew everybody. Yeah, when I left Tracy, when I joined the Air Force, man, I think there was barely 40,000 people in that city. I think it's getting close to like 100,000 now.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, nuts, man. You know who has dealerships over there? I think Keena Turner, I think, it's got like a whole bunch of football players got the auto dealerships over there in Tracy. Oh, yeah. I'm actually from Tracy. Exactly. Then it became a bedroom community for the Bay Area. Absolutely. Oh, I bet it's pricey as hell because you're right there by the Bay Area. The Philpotts, yeah. One of them was the big race car driver. I remember always reading about him in the paper. You know what? You're talking about the what do they call it? The Capital City Air Show? I might have to check it out. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, wait. I think it's coming up this weekend, isn't it? Usually it's right in the late September. I used to go to the air shows all the damn time. No, I never have. I never played softball FPOs.
I'm putting together a package that
Who's going to be at the Mayfair Air Show? Is it going to hold on? Capital City. Let me see who's going to be there. I think that's what they still call it, right? Boom, boom, boom. Gates open. Oh, it's going to be the Thunder Chickens, huh? The 23rd. Oh, yeah. So that's tomorrow and Sunday. No, I ain't going to go to that. Especially when you got to freaking pay. Go to Air Force bases. Anytime you go to Air Force base, it's always free. Let's see who's going to be here. Oh, the A10 and the P51. That's okay. Bill Stein, Jim Peets, don't know him. Tucker's Air Patrol. Thunder Chickens. Who's C-17? That's going to be from Travis. The U2 will be from Beal. The Super Hornets. Oh, come on. That's kind of a weak show, to be honest with you. Kind of a weak show will be. I don't know if I would go to that. Kind of weak. No, I haven't. I need to go check that out. I don't know how that happens on Final Approach. They usually got that locked down really good at Reno because they're just used to dealing with a lot of airplanes after a race is concluded. So I don't know what happened there. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Especially the T6s. T6s are slow as hell when they come in Final Approach. It's not like they're coming in at breakneck speed.
Will. Dan in a phone coma. Yeah, I was working it out. There we go.
Who had the breakdown?
What?
I'm just seeing what he's.
Look at Will's comment up there.
Dan making a 12-player deal, just swap teams. Beal used to have some really good air shows. You know, Travis Air Force Base, they used to have some really good air shows, but it's been a while. It's been a while since they've had air shows. Dan, what's your goal in a trade? Eric seems confident, not doing shit. I'm sticking with what I got for now. See what happens.
I might just
the Blancolero channel on YouTube. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I might just go in.
You got a Dragon Lady? Yeah, I worked with when I retired. I worked with the U2 and the RQ-4 Global Hawk. Fantastic aircraft. That U2 has been around a long time, but it still does the job. Pretty fantastic. Same thing with the RQ. The RQ-4 is a little bit. I'm sure it's probably worked out all the bugs, but it was a little bit on the hokey side, but it's got its advantages. Could stay up in the air a long time.
All right, everybody. I'm tired. I got to run. You can stay on though if you want to keep going.
I don't know. We'll see. There's 52 people in here.
Yeah, just keep going. I'll head out, and I'll come back in if there's a deal that gets accepted. I could hit the.
I got the music ready to go.
I might even have to cancel this deal. I think I might send it to Haruku. I think I'm gonna cancel the more I think about it. I think I'll just wait a minute.
Yeah, but my all-time favorite aircraft ever since I was a kid was the SR-71. Gosh, I wish that plane was still around, but that thing was kind of expensive to maintain and fly.
Did I mess up? I think I did. That's why I just canceled. I think I sent not enough guys. Okay.
Yep, that's the one.
Cool. Hey, you guys, I'm not going to say arrivederci to Chare as a sign-off. Just arrivederci to everybody.
All right, Dan.
You keep going. I'll be back. Sure. We'll be back tomorrow night about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bit earlier since it's an earlier game, right?
Yeah, probably about 9.
Is it Saturday Night Baseball? Is that what it is?
6:10, yeah.
But is it like ESPN type baseball?
No.
Gotcha.
No. Yeah. Awesome. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Keep her going.
You betcha.
I want to look at about 12:30 and see you still going.
I might be.
All right. Have fun.
All right. See you.
Bring somebody in.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah.
I might just throw out the link in there. Yep.
All right. Cool. Have a good
See
night,
ya.
everybody. Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yep.
All right, I threw the link in the chat there, guys. So if anyone wants to come in. Yeah, SR-71, man. I'm telling you, yes, it was the Blackbird. I got a chance to see it fly before they retired it. When went to an air show down, and the best air show trip I ever had with my dad. We went down to went down to, oh my God, it was Edwards Air Force Base. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. It was nice to see you earlier in there. Too bad you couldn't catch Ned a little bit earlier. But yeah, it was Edwards Air Force Base, and gosh dang it, I can't remember the one that was the Air Force Base that was in Riverside. Why am I drawing a blank? It'll come to me. But that was the 40th anniversary of Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. The best air show I've ever been to. They had because it's Edwards. They had everything there. It was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And they had the SR-71 flyby. They had Chuck Yeager go up in an F4, and he broke the sound barrier to recreate his the first time breaking the sound barrier. March Air Force Base. That's what it is. Thank you. Thanks, Will. That's the one. Before that, yeah, March had an awesome air show. We went to March first, and then we went to Edwards. Awesome. Bring in Trock. What's up, Trock?
Eric, what you doing, buddy?
It's going.
I'm hanging on. Can you hear me well? I don't have my earphones in.
Yeah. You sound good.
All right, cool, man.
No
and the
reverb.
SR-71 was a plane that was in service. It was the best plane forever for a long time. And you know what? It was the fuel. It was the cost of fuel that drove that plane out of retirement.
And you know else? I don't know if anyone knows this. If you read up on it a little bit.
Tell me.
That thing was made of pretty much the whole thing was made of titanium. Do you know where they sourced that titanium from?
Where?
Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was part of the SR-71, which was built to spy on the Soviets. Pretty interesting. But yes, that the fuel is JP7. It's like really special fuel they have. It's basically where it can operate at thermal temperatures, because when you're up at like 80,000 plus feet in the air, you got to have fuel that's still going to combust at that altitude. Not to mention that the thing's hauling ass. So, but yes, it was very
fast. The plane was very fast, and what was it in his history? It's never got shot down.
Never got shot down. It's been shot at a lot, but never got shot down. As a matter of fact, I think it's got the speed record from LA to New York. It's either New York or Washington, D.C. It got there in 56 minutes. It got there in 56 minutes. And it had to have in-flight refueling on the way over, and it still made it in under an hour. I mean, it's just incredible.
No, it's wild. So that's the most interesting thing about that is it's the best technology we've had for a lot of things for aircraft, right? Never got shot down, but it was put out of service because of economic resources.
Correct.
To make it so. That's a wild thing to think. You have the best, but it's like, because you can't fund it from the fuel standpoint, it's got to shut down. There's other planes in there they have that will do other things, but how does that work in a to be the best, and then you get shut down because it costs a little too much?
It's crazy,
especially when, high inflation and paying and a lot of things. It's funny how you think of it.
It is weird because it did have a unique capability as far as what it could do, because it had the cameras they had on it was incredible, but it was because of the advent of satellites and all that stuff. So they could get there a little bit quicker than, say, an SR-71. But I don't know. I think maybe now because there's so many satellites. But when satellites are first coming online, you still had to wait. Once you got to do course corrections, right, for satellites, and they only got limited amount of fuel that they can use. And with an SR-71, depending on where it's flying, because they had 3 locations it flew out of. It flew out of Beale, flew out of Mildenhall in the UK, and then in Kandina in Okinawa. So it could be anywhere in the world in a matter of maybe less than an hour, somewhere around there. And for a satellite,
that's wild.
isn't it? And they could go out, take pictures, and by lunchtime they're developing those pictures to see what's going on. It was pretty amazing, the stuff that they have out there. Well, look at that, Mark, dropping $20 for me and you. How about that?
Eric, you could have $20, Eric. I'm just here out of goodness of my heart. You could have all that money, brother. I appreciate that.
Well, that's gonna go straight to Dan.
Okay, well, Dan can have that.
Dan can have it. That's fine.
Coach Emilio can have all that, brother. All
Look
that,
at
brother.
See, now he can't kick me no more now, right? Dan, you can't kick
hang
me.
on.
I just
Oh,
$20.
Dan's sneaky. He'll come back and say,
He will. Watch out.
done.
Oh no, there's Will. I saw someone coming in. I thought it was gonna be Dan.
No,
He may boot me from somewhere I don't even know.
Will be.
it's cracking,
What's up,
dude.
Will? The Warthog, love that airplane.
Oh, dude,
That thing's
The Warhog is a solid as a pilot is a I think that all the infantry will love
I'm
the sound
telling
of
you,
that motherfucker coming in making a difference.
you're
bud.
not going to find an Army or a Marine that is going to disagree with that. I
Yeah.
tell you what, take a look at some of the footage on YouTube of the A-10 operating in Afghanistan. Oh my
Lifesavers, man.
goodness.
There was a
I mean,
question. I think Mark Graves asked if I served. Like, no, I never did.
Never served.
I'm just well read on everything in the world, and
Yeah.
not
Nice.
very good at it, but well read.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, the more
No,
knowledge
not
you
at all.
have, the better it is. Absolutely.
You really
my
miss
favorite-
too much.
My favorite plane, I love World War II planes. I'm telling you, if you've never heard a P-51 take off
Oh,
and flying around, I'm telling you, it will give you goosebumps.
yep.
It is the most sweetest sound that you can hear, especially when the pilot is giving a little backing up and giving a little bit of throttle. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. It is the sweetest sound that you'll ever hear.
Now, the story behind the P-51 was it was actually being used as a dive bomber in Italy. And it was not seen as a fighter at first until they put I believe it was a Pratt & Whitney in the engine in there.
Well, what they did, they started off with the
Merlin.
The Merlin. That was not the Merlin.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
a Merlin. It was or it might have been a Rolls Royce, something like that.
The Rolls Royce Merlin is what it came to. It wasn't the Merlin. I'm trying to remember, but it was underpowered.
Yeah.
And it was pretty weak. They put the Rolls Royce Merlin in it, and oh boy, now you were singing. And then they put the bubble canopy on.
The Razorback, yeah.
Yep. And when they put the bubble canopy on, I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, that's a dude. And the other one I like, the Corsair, the whistling
The Corsair.
Death. The sound of that thing, man.
And that thing is gnarly
God.
with the
Yeah.
with the little
The
kink in
gold
the
wing.
wing. Yep. The Hellcat. That's
Okay.
another one that was a badass. That's a badass looking aircraft. The F6F. The F6F Hellcat is a sweet looking airplane.
That was a scourge of the Japanese, man.
Yep. But real quick to go back to, I'm going to talk about the Warthog. That 30 millimeter Gatling gun that it has on the front, the rounds on it. Have you ever seen it? They look like milk bottles.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
that's
huge.
what's coming out at you. And when the pilots, they come in for a strafing run, they can't, what is it? There's so many seconds that they can only lay on the trigger, not just because of ammo reasons.
It slows the plane down.
They will stall the aircraft because there's so much recoil on the cannon that if they went any longer, they would stall the aircraft. And
Well, did you serve too, or are you just aerodynamically sound, brother?
No, I did 8 years in the Army. Prior to the Army, I was.
I'm in the present of greatness. I am just here on a fly on the wall to speak my economical language because I understand why things went out of business and why things work and why they don't.
Yeah,
and I just understand why the SR-71. I was like, oh no, it's one of the best planes that ever existed. I don't think it never got shot down. It was because of the economics of the fuel and I'm like this is I get my jam. I get this and I get two dogs in this fucking fight that just understand what it is and what it is, man. Respect. I'm a fly on the wall. I'll just respectfully listen and learn, brothers. I love this, brother. I think
exactly. So it's amazing what you can learn from other people. Just it could be anything. And that's what it's all about. It's all about learning.
Aviation is so cool, man. The history is. I mean, so prior to joining the Army, I was actually a student pilot for the Navy, student naval aviator, and I actually washed out back in 2009. I still had the itch to serve, so I went back and joined the Army.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Hey,
not at all.
Kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Not at all.
Had to do it, man. Had to do it. It's part of the legacy. So
Absolutely. And I knew some armament guys who worked on the cannon of the Warthog. And it's funny, they had something what they called the party mix with the way that they set up the ammo, because they got 3 different types of ammunition. They got the tracer, they got the AP round, and they got the depleted uranium. Now, depleted uranium, that stuff is gnarly. It goes through armor like it's like a hot knife through butter. Because it's just a chemical reaction and the kinetic energy, and they have it's like a maroon color on the round, nasty looking. Anyways, what they call a party mix is they would have a tracer, an AP, and a depleted uranium round back to back to back, and all the way, and that's what it was in the entire drum. So when the pilot's laying on the trigger, he's got AP, depleted uranium, and a tracer coming out all at once, basically. So it's nasty.
If that don't kill them, then the uranium will after a while.
and in turn, it takes a lot to knock that plane down.
Oh man, that thing takes a beating, dude.
It does. Yep.
I always had huge props to the helicopter pilots, man. Those guys are just a sitting duck, and they're just getting shot to shit. Yeah, man.
When you're doing that like search and rescue stuff, that is no joke. That's tough. And not to mention the special forces guys. I don't know. Do you guys remember? As a matter of fact, I was deployed when we knocked off Obama. Listen to me. When we knocked out Osama.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. When we knocked off Bin Laden. Yeah, wrong one. Freudian slip.
This is a little minor one. It's all good.
It's funny I don't know if you guys ever know. You might have noticed it, Will. I don't know if anyone else would notice it, but when you're watching the news and did you see the wreckage that was around the house that they took them out?
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Did you see the tail rotor?
Yeah.
Did you notice it wasn't anything that we've ever seen before?
No, that was
exactly
completely new aircraft that they just crashed and burned right there and said, "F it, we're leaving it, man."
It was a special helicopter made for special missions. But yeah,
I guess that angling that it had attached to it, I don't know what the proper terminology is, but everything that was attached to it was made to reduce its radar signature.
Yes.
So that's why they were able to go in there. But they ended up, instead of scuttling it, well, maybe they tried. I don't know what the hell was going on, but they just pretty much left an attack aircraft there.
It's
not that they don't do anything with it anyway. It's Pakistan.
And what's incredible is you see the F-22 and F-35. If you notice, there's no right angles. Kind of like the F-117, but because the F-117 was like the first, kind of stealth aircraft out there.
That was such a badass aircraft, man.
Funky looking, isn't it? Had no 90-degree angles because, it doesn't bounce back that radar signature.
Right.
And they had the radar absorbent material. But the F-35 and the F-22, that they made it a lot more pretty and more sleek. But I just read a story where the Iranians, they're flying F-4s. We're talking like Vietnam vintage aircraft, right?
But the F-4 is a badass aircraft.
Oh, I love that airplane. It was my dad's favorite. I love it. But the Iranians are flying it, and they're causing some issues. And an F-22 basically flew underneath it. He didn't even know he was there.
Oh, geez.
The Iranians even know, and then they come
codes.
across the radio and say, "Hey, you just need to go home," and they freaked out and bugged out and had to go back home. They knew. I mean, there's no way. If you can't fight something you can't see,
Oh yeah, yeah. It was the technology we have is just so many light years ahead of anybody else.
I need to read his book.
That's the guy who shot
That's the guy, who supposedly shot Bin Laden. I'm not gonna. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, it's
who knows? Do they even know if they actually did or not? I mean, themselves when they're doing that. I mean, we called it military operations in urban terrain. It's been a while, man. I've been out for a while now. They call it mountain training, and part of it is going through houses like that and clearing rooms, clearing houses, and stuff like that gets a little fuzzy. Like you don't.
Yeah, those special forces guys, they know how to do that stuff.
Oh,
you know what's a fantastic movie, guys? I recommend to anyone. Go watch Retrograde. I don't know if you've seen it. If you got Disney Plus, go on to National Geographic. It's called Retrograde, and it details the American pullout of Afghanistan. But they're focusing on General Sadat, who was the Afghani general who is basically left holding the bag trying to defend a country with no American support. Oh my gosh, it is fantastic. It'll piss you off. I'll tell you that.
I'll check that out.
It will piss you off.
Is it as bad as the what was that 13 hours? What that movie was? That one was Benghazi. That one really pissed me off.
Oh, I didn't see that one, but yeah, this one it'll get the blood raising. Absolutely, it will. Retrograde. I'm telling you, it's a fantastic movie. It's
Eric,
really good.
was that the one in the snow when he's like wounded and has to defend? Is that the show?
No, this guy. This guy was the general. He was in charge of like all the army in the Afghan National Army when the Americans were pulling. This is before the entire right. This is right at the time when we're pulling out, and Afghanistan was going into the toilet, and it's just, whew. And it's basically it's a documentary where people are just with a camera filming everything that's happening. It's fantastic.
No, I get that. That's a fucking weird deal as a civilian for me, and understanding what you guys do. Thank you so much, and appreciate that. But there was a thing.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the special forces guy who got shot down in a helicopter and he was fighting alone on the mountain. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, on ice.
The dude
ice
was a
mountain,
badass.
And guys are coming in like it was. I was like,
that dude was a
that
badass.
Guy is a fucking bad. He died that day.
He died.
Operation Anaconda.
But I'm like,
it was Operation Anaconda, and that dude wound up taking out I don't know how many guys before he finally succumbed to his injuries.
The first recorded in history Medal of Honor recorded on tape.
Oh, yep.
You see it, and you're like, I'm watching that, and I'm like, okay, like you look at it like that guy's awesome, and then you think about what's going on, and like this is fucking filmed. This is like a fucking filming in the streets. People beating up a fucking elderly person and no one steps in to help. And I'm looking at this like, what the fuck, dude? No. Yep. Don't show me tape of that tragedy fucking happening. Show me the fucking win when someone has to come in and make a difference.
Yep.
Absolutely. Don't sit there and watch and like, hey, upload it to the YouTubes. And then like, I want to see someone make a difference. It's just it, dude. Be a hero.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. Well said. We need more of that, don't we? We need more of that. But when you watch that video, go ahead.
I was going to say it wasn't Mike Murphy, Mark. That was a different operation. Operation Anaconda. That was back in 2003. Essentially, what happened there, I believe it was a Chinook helicopter carrying a bunch of Navy SEALs. They were under fire, and he ended up falling out of the ass into one of those things. And he was on the ground by himself and having to defend himself amongst all these, Al-Qaeda, whatever they were at that time. And I believe, so he was awarded the Medal of Honor for that, as well as a PJ from that same mission trying to rescue him. Cunningham. He got the Air Force Cross.
Yes, I think they tried to upgrade it to the Medal of
Honor.
Honor.
They did.
I can't remember.
They did. He should have gotten it.
Because I remember that talk, because they were talking, I was in the Air Force during that time, and that was a lot of talk back then talking about what needed to happen. But it was crazy. The only thing that sucked about the video, you couldn't get the topography too much because they were on steep mountains.
Go trails.
When you watch the video, it kind of looks almost flat just because of the black and white, and it was kind of grainy. But oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mike Murphy. That was another Navy SEAL mission. They made a book out of, or not a book, but they made a movie out of that one with that. God, what was that name? It's been a while now. Guy went out there to try to find him or rescue him or something like that, and he ended up having to stay with locals. They put him under shelter.
You're talking about the Afghani one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that.
It's been a while.
Oh my God, the guy
he lives in Texas.
Yes. He's all over the news too. Mike, is it Mike? I got his damn book somewhere.
Yeah, I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't remember.
Son of a gun. I have to look.
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
Thank you,
That's
Eddie.
it. Thank you, Eddie. What the hell's the guy's name though?
I know, but still, yeah, we're still in this predicament here.
I can't remember. I hate not knowing names. But it's fantastic. You know what's another amazing story too? They kind of touched a little bit on it. Remember
Marcus Luttrell. Yes, there we go.
Marcus Luttrell. Thank you,
Eddie. Once again, Mark.
And Mark. Yes, fantastic. Marcus Luttrell.
was
He's
gonna
still
bother me
suffering.
all
He's
freaking
still
night.
suffering those injuries that he had because he broke his back during.
Yeah,
the
if you
war.
read his book, it really messed him
Yes.
up for a while. He couldn't sleep during the day. He was
Yep.
sleeping only during his vampire hours after he got out of the military. He was just falling into a bottle of whiskey.
Yep,
His
that
whole
happens.
life went to crap. I mean, yeah,
Yep.
happens to a lot of guys that, spend time during the war and
That happens.
got out. And I've seen it.
Do you remember when that ship the American ship got by the Somalis? Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was the way that they
Some of
how
the most
they
badass
flew-
shit
how
I've
they
ever heard.
how they flew the Navy SEALs, right? They got on a frigate. And how they were able to get those shots off while you're doing this in the ocean, right? One ship's doing that, another ship's doing that, and to be able to snipe what was it, 3 or 4 guys
At the same time.
all at the same
man.
time.
That
And then it
is
was like,
just-
okay, done. Time to go. Amazing. Those guys, I'm telling you, when the shit hits the fan, those are the guys you want behind your back. Absolutely.
I've got a couple of shout outs if you guys want
Go for
some military stuff to watch and listen to. So I happen to serve with a very good dude. I was a medic in the Army, and I happen to serve with a fellow medic named Jeff Scanlon. I don't think he minds me shouting him out. He's in the books I'm about to recommend. He was awarded the Silver Star for his actions in the Battle of Wanat in 2008. There's a really good battle with the 173rd Airborne Brigade
The
Combat Team.
173rd, okay.
0708. It would be OEF 8, and they were getting hammered. And so there's a book written by Mark Bowden, the same guy who wrote the book about
Mark Bowden. He's the one that did Blockout Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called The Three Battles of Wanat. And it talks about what these guys went through. I mean, they had 125% casualties. And for their size, they are the most highly decorated unit in the military history. They have 2 Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Crosses, Silver Stars. It was just what they went through was just horrendous.
And what was that called? Battle of what?
The Battle of Wanat, spelled
Wanat.
WANAT.
Okay, where is that? I'm guessing Afghanistan.
Yeah, just north of the Korengal, Waygal Valley.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, their sister company was called Battle Company, and they were in the Korengal. In fact, I served with somebody that was there in Battle Company. Battle Company was also the unit that Salvatore Junta was awarded the Medal of Honor out of. He was the first living Medal of Honor recipient since the Vietnam War when he was awarded his Medal of Honor.
Wow. Because I know there's another. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
The Battle of Camp Desh, Cop Keating. That was out in the same area.
Is that the one where they dropped the Moab?
I think so.
Remember, and the British thought we were nuking them because the.
Oh no, that's a different one. No,
that was the one. Remember the caves? I can't remember where it was though.
Oh, Bora Bora.
Bora Bora. That's what I was thinking. Bora Bora.
There's an inside joke for Bora next time.
Yeah, exactly. But there's another movie out there where it's a first-person documentary where they're in an outpost, and they named it after the medic that died. I can't remember what it was called though. It was also I think National Geographic. I just can't remember the name. Restrepo. Yep.
They made Restrepo is in the Combat Medic Hall of Fame, I believe. If you go to the
because he was a medic that died trying to help his guys because it was a bad area where they were operating out of.
Another good book about that SAM 173rd deployment is called The Chosen Few. That's the actual unit that my buddy served with, and they had 2 Medal of Honors come out of. That was a Chosen Company. And then if you can find it on YouTube, there's actually a documentary called 11 Days and a Wake Up that kind of goes through what they. It has them talking about their experience. It gets a little graphic, obviously, because they're not holding back. They're talking about what they experienced and saw.
And here I just want to inform the chat here. No one ever wins a Medal of Honor. No one ever wins a civil medal.
Those are awards you don't want to receive.
Those are earned. I just want to make sure you guys understand that these type of decorations are earned. People aren't going out there to try to say, okay, yeah, I just won a medal. You don't win it. It's all earned.
You
talk to any of these guys, and it has nothing to do with personal glory. It's just about fighting with the next guy next to him and protecting them as well. So
it was interesting. So Scantlin, I met Scantlin a long time ago, but When he first came to the unit, I didn't really talk to him too much. I really didn't know him too well. He was kind of silent. He's a tall dude, about 6'8" and skinny as hell. That's why his nickname is Mantis. He kind of looks like a praying mantis with this hunched over kind of back. But we had a Class A inspection, and we had to, because they want to give you out to families during Thanksgiving. You could adopt a soldier, bring them home for Thanksgiving dinners. And so I'm sitting there. I look behind me. I was squad leader. I was in second squad. He was a third squad leader. And I turn around real quick, and I see his uniform. And I see that silver star sitting there. I'm like, son of a bitch. We got a freaking badass amongst us here, man. And so I pulled him aside afterwards. I'm like, hey, man, and I don't, unless you don't want to talk about it, you got the silver star there.
The story, yeah.
What's going on? And I guess I was one of the few people he opened up to, because that was pretty bad of what he went through to get that award.
Right.
They lost. They had 9 KIAs that day.
That's rough,
And,
especially for a medic, because you have a hand in all that. Yeah. Usually those are the guys that are telling, you triage them, and they're done.
Yeah.
You said it was Mantis?
Mantis, yeah. It's actually
his posture.
Yeah, he had like this weird arch in his back that kind of went up and around like this at the very top. So he was kind of like this. So, I mean, if he was actually straightened out all the way, he'd probably be about 6'10".
No
hilarious. Kidding. He was a huge dude, man. We had actually a lot of tall dudes in our.
Hey, Val Ramos, there is so much written about World War II. I mean, I don't even know where to begin.
And not just on the American side too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Even on the German side, on the
Brandenburgers. Read about those guys. Brandenburgers were freaking badass.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. There was good generals on both sides. Now, when I mean by good generals, I'm talking not about what they're fighting for. Tacticians.
No,
exactly. The strategy and how they implemented their forces in combat. That's where I'm going. But there's one thing that I always read, and I start reading it in November. It's a book I have, and it's a thick old book about the Battle of the Bulge. And it goes into this historian. He gets into all the after action reports from all the units that were involved. And it's just the most incredible part of World War II, and just the stories that are told and how that transformed both on the German side and also on the American side. It is just absolutely incredible if you read that book. It's the author is Hugh Cole, if you want it, but it's a thick, big old book.
Here's one for you. The book is called Brave Men by Ernie Pyle. He was
Ernie Pyle. He was a famous correspondent. He died.
Yeah, he was killed with the Marines in Okinawa, killed by a sniper, or was it Iwo Jima, one of those two islands? But that book is just freaking amazing, man. He gets in bed with all these units, learns their personalities of the people in those units, and the NCOs, and how they interact with the privates, or the Joes, as we call them in the Army. It's really good. I love that book. I have an original copy from like 1940 something. My grandmother gave it to me.
And here's another thing too. I need to read Jocko's book.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's a Navy SEAL. He goes on a lot of speaking engagements and stuff. But if there's one book, I mentioned a little bit today when we were talking to Ned. It might be kind of hard to read because you need to know some of the vocabulary as far as military jargon. Mm-hmm. But did you ever read Clausewitz?
No.
It's a thick book. It's called On War. But it basically, he breaks down, it's his, because there's different military theorists all throughout here. There's a whole bunch. He's one of my favorites. And you could literally use some of the strategies that he speaks about, and you could put it into everyday life. You really could. Or just about any type of profession, if you will. But yeah, if you get a chance to read that, it's pretty intense. Chapter 1 is probably the most finished work that he did, but it's an absolute. Like I said, it's kind of deep. So I just want to let you know if you want to read that, it's kind of just to be aware.
Probably some war college stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Khomeini is another one. The guy that served with Napoleon.
Oh yeah.
Greatest general ever, Napoleon.
I think that was on the readers list for. Back in the day, we had a WLC Warriors Leader course.
Yeah, and then you had JFC Fuller, that guy. He's and then who's the other one? Liddell Hart. He's another military theorist. Some of those guys, that was during like World War II and all. But yeah, there's a lot. If you're into that kind of stuff, there's so much literature out there. I mean, it's just.
Oh, you could get a degree in that stuff.
I did.
I got that's why they exist.
Yeah, I got my degree in history with a concentration on military history. So yeah.
I'll be damned.
What do we got here?
Chaco turn the country into a golf.
Hey, I understand we get these chats, dude. I'm starting to try to start my channel. I do little things. I would love to interview both of you because this is just the most fascinating things that I come across from you. Like if I could ever have a one-on-one, I would love it,
no
man.
problem.
Because this is so much. This is so interesting to me, and it's lessons from my grandfathers, uncles, and whatever else. I never served, but I just want to hear about the people that are in the decade of what's happening, because there's so much information that happens in it, and I just love it, man. So
can you imagine? I mean, if you just think about the last, let's just go back the last 20 something years and how much has transpired just in 2 decades. Let's just start from 9/11 to where we are now, and how much his stuff has happened. It's absolutely, you talk about World War II. I mean, there's a lot between World War I, World War II, but I mean, it's incredible just how much has transpired in 20 years. I mean, it's fantastic.
I blame
this conversation
smartphones.
has been the biggest inspiration in the last 100 years in a wild way, because the technology has been used and the conversations have been had. Granted, some things have been similar, some things have been primitive, some of whatever. But what has transpired in this conversation is so interesting to me that it needs to be documented.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be documented in a way that I want to have it documented, and selfishly for my knowledge. I want to hear it. I want to.
There's also, I think another untold story. I mean, unless you actually talk to someone like myself or Eric, is just how much the military's changed in the last 20 years. I mean, there's a reason why I did not re-enlist in 2016. There's a very blunt reason why.
There's a reason why I got forced to retire.
There's exactly. You got effed.
Is it top heavy? What was the deal?
For me, it was top heavy. It was top heavy because I was in a career field that had way too many senior enlisted, and unfortunately, I was one that got told, "Hey, you got to retire." Yeah, and that was right around the time that Obamacare was coming in full strength, and I think they just had to get rid of a lot of people during that time. The Army.
We lost
2015.
I don't know if you remember so many NCOs in
2014. There was like 30,000 people that got cut in the Air Force. I think the Army had like 100,000 in 2014.
Yeah. It was a lot of good NCOs, man.
And that's the backbone.
The backbone is part of our creed.
Is the NCOs, 100%. Yes. And the funny thing is, this was happening even when I was in 2014. There was definitely a blurring of the line between NCO and officers. Yeah. There's a lot of NCOs out there who are smarter than the officers who are appointed over them.
Yeah.
Because an education is so easy to get now. Because like for me, I did all my education online. I mean, I was able to get a master's degree online. I worked hard because it's a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of writing because it's history. But I'm just saying, it's the same thing if you're an NCO in the military. If you're doing an online class, you could get a bachelor's degree, which is no different than what a second lieutenant, a captain may have in their education. So just because one's an officer and another one's an NCO doesn't mean one is smarter than the other. One has more authority and more command, but I'm just saying that line is being blurred.
We used to get the cocky with the O1s that come in off the streets or something like that from the academy or whatnot. West Point, stuff like that. And O1s coming in, we call them platoon leaders in the Army. And so, they think sometimes they think because they have that degree, they're better than E7, who's a platoon sergeant. They learn the hard way very quickly. Yep. Army, we don't put up with that crap. You don't sit there and disrespect our platoon sergeant. And the company commanders or the captains and whatnot, they pretty much understand that. So that's a pretty good way to end up a battalion real quick as an O1 or an O2. you'll find yourself kicked out as an 03 after you haven't made rank after a few years.
Now, what you need to do too, I'm talking about, like, if you're an officer. I was never an officer. I retired as an E7, but
which is a stud, by the way. Anybody doesn't know? If anybody doesn't know in chat, that's like an E7 in the Army at least is a god. Like that's her.
Yeah, it was a master sergeant in the Air Force.
It's Eric though, man. We know he's a stud.
We know he's a stud.
I wouldn't go that far.
I
wouldn't go. But you gotta, as a leader, you gotta understand the people that you're leading, because you gotta be a leader.
Yeah,
and there's gotta be a definite chain of command.
Yep.
People got to know who the leader is, and you got to follow that leader. But you also got to understand the strengths and weaknesses of those who you command. Yep. And that's why I love studying about military history, because you got men put in positions that are asked to do things that are never asked of any ordinary individual. And to have success in that is absolutely incredible. And that's why one of my most favorite eras is the Civil War. I love reading about the Civil War. That just to understand the type of leadership you needed to have, the tactics that were used
walk
at that
through
time.
a cornfield row by row, get mowed down, and do it again.
And hey, let's not forget that when you're getting mowed down, you know what the size of that round that's hitting you? It's a 58 caliber. It's a 58 caliber.
That big
mini ball. This thing is a freaking monster, and when it hits you, it doesn't clip a bone like a 5.56.
It bounces around.
It hits the bone and it explodes.
Yeah,
that's why you had so many amputations, and you just had to saw the damn thing off. But guys, time and again, would form ranks. They get into their line formation, and there they are marching. Whether it was across the field. Whether it was across a cornfield, a sunken road, it's always a sunken road. There's always a church. There's always a wheat field. There's always an orchard or something in the Civil War. But they had to do that. And you had to have men. And when you led from the front. Unless, of course, you're like other generals. But even then, William Tecumseh Sherman in the Battle of Shiloh, he got 5 horses shot from underneath him. And he got shot in the hand. U.S. Grant, my favorite general. That's my all-time favorite general of all time. I just love reading about him. The guy was head and above he made Lee look. Don't get me wrong. General Lee was a good general.
One of the best.
But Grant he just outwitted him. He did. And I don't want to hear it's because of manpower. Yes, manpower is a part of it. But the tactics that Grant utilized was absolutely fantastic. My favorite campaign is when he took Vicksburg. It's amazing.
What do you think would happen had the Confederate States of America completed their trade deal with Britain for cotton?
I don't think that would have happened. Britain knew.
So?
No, because Britain knew what was going on. They knew. You know why? Britain, no way in hell could they be in an alliance with a slave country. They abolished slavery.
They
abolished slavery in 1803. Yeah. The English abolished slavery in 1803, and there's no way that the public would have agreed to be in cahoots with a country that has slavery as their institution. No way.
Yeah,
I think it was dead on arrival. Would they have loved it? Would they have loved to try to weasel in to try to break up the United States? Absolutely,
100%. They proved that.
How's that go? The enemy of
years prior.
How does that go? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that. So anything they could do to try to subvert another power, you're going to do. That's just part of that's just the part of the way the world is.
Yeah, I like that kind of alternative.
But if you Trocky ever want me to come on your show, I'm more than welcome.
Eric, I would love for you to. Like, no joke, Will, I would love for you to. Like, this is my conversation of I'm a fly on the fucking wall, and I'm just getting educated, dropping knowledge on me, because I would love to interject and like, hey, this is that. No, dude, I am fucking hooked. Looking at you, brothers, dropping that shit. Like, I want to absorb this because the history and military, I love it. I've been to Gettysburg, and I love to see the history out there. I had a tour out there from Gettysburg, and they said cow high and hog tied. And I just know that from the day of, is like, when you see this, is like, you tie it from the bottom, tie it from the top, and that was a thing. And it's like, go on. But that's another tour. But if you want to go, I was also, I was in Hawaii seeing it from ground zero.
Pearl Harbor.
I'm sorry, cut out.
Oh, Pearl Harbor.
But yeah, Pearl Harbor. Yeah, seeing that and watching the bubbles come up, and they tell you that the people that are still there is the carbon in the atmosphere that's still bubbling up from it. I fucking cried, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care. I cried. I'm like, this is a remnants of, and the thing is, it's not about it. It's about the people that are down there. It's the reasons why. It's so many plus reasons why we can be better as a society, and we're not. And
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So we talk about the different wars, and we talk about Pearl Harbor, we talk about other things, but there's USS Arizona. Kyle, brother, thank you, brother. I can see you now. Thank you so much. We could be better at that, and there's so much more to be at what we are as a society than what's happening, because
we could do better.
To be honest, brothers, if we want to talk about current events, the pipelines from Ukraine to Germany are a bigger fucking thing than we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you, here's a weird.
If we want to talk about it,
I'll tell you what.
But that's the thing that we should talk about. Military attacks should be addressed.
And I'm hold on real quick. Kyle McKernan says his dad's a master historian. I would love to talk to your dad then. That would be fantastic. And there's something that I eventually want to do, maybe in a year or so. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe create a YouTube channel, and I'd like to interview other historians and just get their point of view.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to be able to try to do that. We'll see what happens, how that works out. But to get into the Ukraine thing, oh my gosh, it's really weird what I'm hearing, and I'm gonna keep.
Mark had to unleash the bomb on us.
Why do you have to do that?
We're gonna derail a conversation with that one, man.
I'm telling you, that thing is badass. That thing is something, an aircraft that can have 105 millimeter, howitzer in the back end and be able to pinpoint it.
And 100, what's the Bofors? The Bofors is
the 40 millimeters.
40 millimeter. Oh, dude. And then it's got the 30 millimeter minigun on there.
Yeah, now there's different variants. Some of them have the minigun, some don't. But that thing is for closer.
I'll tell you what, man.
Oh man, if you start hearing that humming of a C-130 and at a couple of thousand feet, you better be worried.
You know what, man? This kind of makes me miss being stationed at Fort Lewis again, because I used to fall asleep to the sound of artillery and Cobras and Kiowas shooting off, and then you hear we have not the C5, C-17s coming in on McCord's side of the house.
Nope. But where did Truck go? I was going to get into this here.
Oh, he's great. He's grabbing a refresh.
Okay, fair enough. I tell you what,
History Aviation Channel. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Man.
I just love anything with it. I just love history in general.
Oh,
I kind of like it because with military history, I also get in a little bit of the diplomatic, because military history just isn't about the bang bang shoot type thing. You also got to get into the, what created that situation. What was the political discourse? What was the it's pretty amazing.
Like the Japanese invasion of Asia during prior to World War II. The reason why they did that, most people really, they were kicking out the colonizers. The colonizers were us, the United States, the Dutch, and the French.
Okay, to get back into the
Ukraine. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's all good. I find it weird. The Ukraine was invaded, right? Let's get down to it, right? Ukraine was invaded by Russia. For what reason? We can all guess what it is. I'm telling you, when it comes to history, you got to almost wait 2 decades before you can really get into the weeds, because that's when
resources for now. Can we call
that's
it
when
resources?
everything gets released and more things become public knowledge. The FOIA acts, you can do that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. On some things you can, but they were invaded, right? For no other reason than just to increase the power of Russia, right? Would you agree with that or disagree? It wasn't because of denazification.
If it's for power, but I would say if you call it resources, power, fine, whatever. Resources is
okay. That's fine.
Fine.
Okay, but Russia invaded a sovereign nation of Ukraine, right?
Or for economic power because of the surrounding of NATO.
Keep in mind too.
No, I mean NATO's been there since 1949, whenever the hell it was formed, somewhere around there. But yes, but that's always been there. Russia's always dealt with NATO in a way. Mm-hmm. But for them to invade Ukraine, there was no rhyme or reason other than Putin wanting to expand the empire. Russians have an entire history of expanding territory constantly.
Yep.
From Peter the Great, or you could even go further than that, all the way up to Vladimir Putin. It's always been about increasing the landmass of Russia proper.
Don't forget, the Russians feel that they are the superior Slavic race. They have treated Ukrainians like dog
they
crap
treated them like they're
they killed millions of them.
The Tartars, all that. Yep. But so they did this, right? They invaded the country. Now, I have absolutely no issue with supplying them with whatever they need to defeat the Russians, right? That's me. Because I can't sit by after seeing everything that's happened throughout history. I can't just sit back and say, you know what? Let Russia swallow up that country, because it's not going to end there. Putin is not going to end with Ukraine. It's not. It will not. That's just the way he is. He's going to keep pushing that boundary. And he needs to be taught a lesson to an extent. And what it's really revealed is Russia is kind of a paper tiger to an extent. They weren't as strong. I really thought Russia was going to roll over Ukraine. I thought it was going to take a week and they were done. But I think it's really showing that the Russians weren't quite equipped like we thought they were. They're not big bad boogeyman like they were, because they've suffered economic issues, even though they got all that oil. But where's all that oil and gas money going? Where's it going? Into the pockets of the oligarchs and the powers that be, so to
Our
say.
side as well.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean,
our side, yeah.
Right.
There's a thing about that though, Eric. You talk about the worst part about that is we're in a war where it's a long border away from us, and whatever that may be, as far as NATO is more on the UK side, and the problem is we're sending a lot of money on that edge of the border, and we're trying to have a proxy war for some bullshit.
It is a proxy bullshit.
I'm gonna say it bullshit, because some Russian paper fucking tiger, as you said, is trying to have a war with us and whoever else, but we don't need to be there, because there's a lot of other fucking countries that we support in NATO. All of NATO is not just the United States. NATO is a bigger thing than the United States. So NATO should set up their own defense to be something bigger, and they're not.
NATO should be paying us. I mean,
they should.
No,
NATO, hey, will be. I'll get on that. They should be paying us for damn sure.
I was stationed.
Why are we not giving the citizens of fucking Maui better?
Yep. Okay. I hear what you're going. I 100%
to be an American citizen for what they're doing. But no, but NATO,
$700.
They're sending fucking. They're in Russia. You know what they're doing? It's just 3D printing is what they're doing mostly, and they want more money. Fuck them.
And I tell you what, this is the United States of America. right? The most powerful nation on this earth. We have unbelievable amount of wealth and resources to be able to do many things, correct? Look what happened in 1940. Let's look at the 1940s. We were able to fight 2 wars in Europe and in the Pacific, and at the same time recovering from a Great Depression. We were able to do that. We have the resources, but here's the problem. Where is these resources being allocated? Look at the budget. You know how much in the U.S. budget, how much, what do you think the percentage of U.S. defense is out of that entire budget?
Well, I could tell you it's definitely smaller than it was when it used to be when Bush was.
You want to know the root of that?
The
GDP
GDP
gold
and
standard at that point. The gold standard was off.
3%.
That's a problem. The money's not back, brother. The money's not back by anything.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different story. But
yeah, you go to the rest if you want to look at it too.
3% of the GDP. That's the historic level we spend on defense. Where's the other 97% go? Okay, that's a question that needs to be answered. And I'm 100% can guarantee that a lot of it is wasted where it shouldn't be. And this is going to lead to another. Now I'm going away from Ukraine, but it leads to what is the leadership that's happening? We don't have leaders no more. No. That's what we need in this country.
No accountability
leaders. Get term limits. You go in there, do your public service. You got to do your public service, and then you know what? You go off and start your own business or do your own thing.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting tired of people getting voted into office. And all of a sudden they leave office as millionaires.
As a millionaires. How does that happen?
Sorry.
And that's what I'm talking
How about this? Because I'll take the bullet for all of us. We had a president, Donald Trump, as a president, and he didn't take a fucking single paycheck at all. Right. And he did something. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says, chat, fucking you and anyone else. He didn't take a single dime from the American public. And he's the only politician that came in the office and said, you know what? I'm not going to take a dime. I'm going to do what I think is right, and I'm going to proceed. That's it. So where's the hate on that? And then, you know what? Tell me every fucking politician we've ever fucking had in our life to come in and tell the people we can and can't do this. I live in California. This is the bullshit fucking tax I got. If I want to leave California today, I got to pay a tax because I left California.
That's ridiculous.
Because I left fucking California. The fucking bullshit, dude. I got to leave Nancy Pelosi's fucking nephew to go out somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm president, everyone that fucking hates and hates and hates and hates and hates and hates. And they say in the media that called him a Russian fucking clone, a Russian Putin's puppet, something else that had he had the most peaceful time in my lifetime for being an American citizen. The most peaceful time. And the media said that he's the worst person. He grabbed the bitch by a pussy. So fucking what, dude? If I'm a billionaire, I'm finger banging every fucking politician, millionaire, whatever, dude.
But
Fuck
I tell
this, dude. This is bullshit.
Well, this is
bullshit.
This is why if we get term limits, you get people in there to do your civic duty, to sacrifice whatever you were doing in your life for the good of the country, right? You do your time. If you get elected, that's great. But then guess what? You do a couple of terms, then you go on your merry way. That's how it was supposed to be when we first formed this country. That's how it was supposed to be. You come in, you do your civic duty, and then you go on and do something else. You don't stay in there and become part of the bureaucracy and basically, you got people who've served in Congress that literally turned the lights on when they built the Capitol. That's not, you're becoming part of the problem rather than being a solution to this country. That's why I'm saying get some term limits. You get fresh blood in there constantly. You follow the Constitution. You do what you got to do, and then you know what, this country will be better. But the problem is, people, the people are the ones who always kind of mess it up. We got the apparatus to serve this country well.
It transpires the people
who have that right interest
and then the Constitution. We got to go back to the Bill of Rights as the staple of what people are. The Bill of Rights is the unique side of what needs to be, of who we are as man. And don't question man, dude. Don't question who a man is. Man is the people. We need to reconcile of who that is and what we are.
The problem is that there's too much division. That's the problem. People got to come together.
And we need no fucking politicians that end up broke to come in rich.
That's
none
the
of
problem.
those bitches.
No.
Why would you ever rehire anybody that comes in like, hey, I got $20 to my name. I leave. Oh shit, I'm a millionaire. You are a problem for voting that. You are a problem for being that.
Did you just see what came out the news today with New Jersey? The senator got convicted for, what was it? Corruption, something like that. Senator Menendez from New Jersey. I think if he did,
I saw the last thing I saw was some girl giving a hobo hand job from some guy. I have no idea, dude. These politicians, they're on starting so much scrutiny. I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
But anyway, to get back to the Ukraine, where I was trying to go with this, is I kind of see resemblance of what would have happened. Okay, World War II. What happened in World War II? Could that have been prevented? 100%. You know how many times Hitler was appeased by European nations and by the United States? Many times. He took over Czechoslovakia. That's okay. No big deal. No issues there. Oh, well, actually, before that, he militarized.
He did it with Britain's backing. Britain said, "Okay, go for it."
Actually, even before Czechoslovakia, they militarized the Rhineland. The Rhineland was supposed to be a buffer between Germany proper and France, but they militarized it. That was violating the Treaty of Versailles. At that point, when they went into the Rhineland, they could have marched. The Brits and the French could have marched in and squashed it. Would have been done. It would have been over. But they appeased them. Oh, it's part of Germany. We don't want to get part of it. We don't want to offend the Germans. You know, it's their land, so let them do. Then again, the Sudetenland, which is the area around Czechoslovakia. Then they took Czechoslovakia with, again, like you said, with the blessings of the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you have to appease a dictator before you got to go, uh-oh, well, what the hell we got to do now? Now we got to get more bodies and blood to be shed when it could have been solved much sooner. But
100%.
Again, with the Ukraine, this is what it kind of reminds me of. You push that goalpost, right? You push that goalpost. When is the time that you take action? Look what Biden did. What happened? What did Biden do prior to Ukraine being invaded?
Oh, prior to? Stay there. We got one plane that'll get you out. Don't worry about our top secret weapons. We'll be fine.
What? There was a certain big thing that happened prior to the invasion of Ukraine.
Well, he pulled us out of Afghanistan.
When he pulled us out of Afghanistan.
There's no presence.
Well, that was the same thing, dude. That's what they did.
Now, what happens? What did you do? When you show weakness and there was no plan, you just yanked people out. Oh, there was a deadline, so you got to pull everyone. But not everyone got pulled out. You left, I think, $80 billion worth of, you know what's funny about the $80 billion worth of military equipment? Russia is contacting the Taliban to use that for their fight against the Ukraine. Imagine that. So you bamboozled that whole operation of pulling out of Afghanistan. You look weak on the world stage. You got a president who doesn't know what time it is. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of him, but that's the facts. He doesn't know what time it is. What do you think? What
take advantage of it?
What world leader would not take advantage of that if they have other aspirations? That's why Putin went into Ukraine. That's why China is still pushing against
circling Taiwan right now. They're circling
Taiwan. They're taking over the South China Sea. They want to control. If you control the shipping in South China Sea, ball game over.
Oh, and they're building more islands. They're manufacturing islands to expand their territory in the South China Sea too.
And the craziest thing, you know who we're forming alliances with? We're forming alliances with Vietnam.
Yeah.
They're going to be our friends in that region. I mean, it's so
That
weird.
worked out the first time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I think they're seeing the kind of the writing on the wall, but you got to have strong leadership at the top. Look,
No,
I'm not
like
saying
Roosevelt said, carry a big stick. We don't have a big stick anymore.
You know what? Here's another thing. China, they're getting involved in Latin America. They got they're in Cuba, they're in Venezuela.
Mineral rights all over here, Africa. They're way better than we are right now.
They're huge in Africa. Africa is a huge resource. I'm telling you, you got to be careful what's going on with China. The reach that China is going. The only good thing on the horizon is that their economy is starting to shrink a little bit, and they ain't going to be able to. They're going to have to do some serious revamping of how they're going to generate money to be able to be on these escapades. But you need strong leadership to match that. I'm not saying we got to be a warmonger, but you know what led to our biggest peace was having
a massive
overwhelming amount of military defense.
The Navy
people don't. Oh, the Navy's weak right now.
The Navy used to be the big swinging dingling of the United States. That's how we kept our tentacles wrapped around this world. Now it's
nothing. And that's scary.
To get into what Trock was talking about earlier, stuff about we experienced in the military, like the military's changed so much, the landscape and the people who are joining right now, it's a mess. I have one of the top comments on the Be All You Can Be Army recruiting video, and my top comment is, I feel ashamed for serving a country that hates me for 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't go into the details on that one because I don't want.
We could get.
But we know you. I think you guys smell when I'm stepping in. So.
Yeah, I hear you. What you're talking about, but I'm just saying, and to bring it around to the Ukraine, that's why I'm concerned about just letting Putin run wild and taking over Ukraine when we have the capability without putting people. But it would not surprise me if he got people on the ground over there. That would not surprise me not one damn bit. Helping, training, whatever it may be. But if we could give them the weaponry to defeat them, so be it. I mean, remember the Marshall Plan after World War II? We flattened all of Europe.
Rebuilt it.
Exactly. We had the Marshall Plan, and with American money, we rebuilt Europe. We rebuilt Japan, rebuilt UK, rebuilt Germany, rebuilt all the lower countries, whether it's Belgium, Netherlands, France. Let's see what else. Poland, even the Soviet Union, I think, got some of the Marshall Plan money as well. But we rebuilt from that. But we can't let that happen again. That's the issue that I have. Is I'm afraid where is that going to lead if you don't do anything now? If you don't show any type of resolve, what are you going to do? Like I said, we are the most powerful nation in the world. I think we should act it. That's all I'm saying.
But it's almost to the point where it's too late. If you go in there now, you're going to have to use a massive amount of force to get, to even wedge your way in there. Whew. I think now, how do you avoid a potential nuclear catastrophe at this point? If you do decide to go in,
it's pretty crazy. It seems more safe today, or it seemed more safe during the Cold War.
It really did, huh?
Than it does now. You know why? You know why? The Soviet Union, they kept control of their little minions. We kept control of our little minions. Once the Soviet Union collapsed, they lost all that influence across all the crazy people. And now they're just doing whatever the hell they want. And is it safe? Is it safer now than it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s?
No.
I don't know.
House of cards.
I don't know.
You got China on our doorstep, plus whatever Russia thinks they're doing.
Hey, real quick, if you guys want to check out, go to Kings and Generals. That's a fantastic.
That is a wonderful channel.
A fantastic YouTube channel.
Another one is Invictus. I think it's one of the same people that is on the Kings and Generals channel.
They might be. But if you go to Kings and Generals, they get into military history out the water. I mean, they got so much stuff. But every month they put out an update of what's going on in Ukraine, and it is fantastic.
Funker 530 still out there too. He does pretty good live streams about what's going on over there as well.
Nice. You ever check out Sean Odison? That guy's pretty good. He does reactions on because he served in the UK, and I think.
I'd love to hear that perspective.
Yeah, hold on. Let me put his link in. But he will talk about the different. Videos coming out of Ukraine, with all the POVs and stuff.
Oh man, those are some pretty gnarly videos, Holmes. Ooh, buddy.
copy, but it's really good.
Don't forget the American Battlefield Trust if you guys are into Civil War stuff.
Oh man, you're talking to me. I'm a member. I'm a member of the American Battlefield Trust.
That is a wonderful channel.
I get their stuff
The
all the time.
Battlefield Tours, dude. I could watch those. I could
Dude.
watch those on a repeat.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
You
yeah.
want to talk about some fantastic walkthroughs of Civil War battlefields? They go to all the battlefields. They got the historians. They walk the fields. They talk about the history. Fantastic. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, check out this
How to
guy
be
right here.
American,
Sean Oderson.
bros. This is fucking the juiciest ever. Just don't stop, brother. I'm here just juicy, like loving it, brother. Just don't stop, please.
Dan's got to be proud, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've expanded horizons. We're no longer just wrestling and ball and whatnot. Man.
Dan's gonna be like, "What the hell did you just do?"
I think he was in here a little bit earlier.
Was he? Was he in here?
I think so.
I didn't even see him.
From the old Coach Emilio account.
All of Washington D.C. is corrupt.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
parties,
the other
parties.
thing, I don't want to go on to this too much because I'm afraid of what
Yeah.
could happen.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
people,
get-
one of the things people need to kind of understand is we don't exactly have two parties. It's more of a uniparty. It's them versus us. That's kind of the reality.
That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%.
That's what it feels like. But the thing is people got to go out and vote and not vote for just the national leaders, but you got to vote your local, your city councilman.
That's where it all starts.
Yep, your state senators, your state assemblymen, whatever, or congressmen, whatever they are in your respective state. It starts there, and then it works your way up. Because if you just focus on the national, nothing's going to get done.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! All right, guys, I think I'm gonna have to. It's going on 3 hours and 37 minutes. Woo, man. Woo, woo. Exactly.
Held down the fort, homie.
Yeah, we did. But hey, I appreciate you guys coming on to spend some time. We talked about some stuff that I love talking about.
No problem, man. Anytime.
All right, guys.
Hey, it's fun, brothers. Yeah,
Hey, just let me know when you want me to come on your show, Sean.
Individually, moving forward. But man, this was fun, dude. I just want to say this is just a lot of good times, man. I appreciate you guys, and it's fun to hear about you, man. For me, it's just educational and inspirational, man.
And I don't
really
want you to think I'm not saying that I'm right about everything. I'm just giving my opinion and what I think. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. It's just my opinion.
Likewise.
Truck, if you want me to call, just give me a heads up on what you exactly want to talk about so I could be a little bit prepared, and then, we could go from there.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys.
Hey,
appreciate you guys hanging on out here. And, tomorrow we'll be back around 8 o'clock or so, somewhere around there, and start talking about some more Giants. Yeehaw. Man, hopefully it just
can't wait till it's over.
Thank you. Yes. And hopefully there's a change.
Yes, that too. Bonus.
All right, guys.
Later,
See you
dudes.
tomorrow. Peace.